on Knockstrom.tv. I am Brett Hedges alongside my partner Kobe K, and tonight we will have the pleasure of providing the play-by-play and color commentary for tonight's NBL Canada home opener between the visiting Orangeville A's and the hometown Windsor Express. Now, it's been a long time since we've been here, Kobe, and there's been some significant changes to the way that the NBL Canada operates, and there's also some new faces to go along with the franchises.
Well, we know the Mississauga Power were absorbed and become the Raptors 905, which is a bridge that has been built between the NBA D-League and then obviously the NBL Canada. What a great relationship. We look forward to working together. We know there was a change in ownership in Halifax, and then of course the Niagara River Lions becoming the new franchise as well. We have a brand new franchise here in the NBL, which is going to be exciting and fun to watch. So lots of changes. And then, of course, the revamped rosters. We're going to see a ton of new faces here in the NBL. It's going to be exciting to watch these new players here in Canada. I play from all over the world. It's going to be a great time in the NBL, always continuing to grow and build, working together.
Okay. Yes, and the home openers tonight here against from Windsor and Orangeville. Who better to kick things off in Ontario than the defending two-time NBL Canada champions? There's been a few slight changes to how the regular season will go. Namely, we're having a later start here in December, which of course has allowed us to get some NBA D-League players onto our rosters after the NBA's initial cuts. And obviously the Windsor Express getting using that to their advantage with getting Jabs Newby and Shaquille Keith. Obviously a humongous bridge, like you said, Kobe, between the NBA D-League and the NBL Canada.
It's going to be exciting for sure. And, can this Windsor team come back on the same magnitude? Can they be as dominant with this new roster? We don't know. Questions that will be answered. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Now, before we get to Game 40 of the NBL Canada season, we need to get through Game 1. And the Orangeville A's, formerly the Brampton A's, come into the WFCU Center for the first time as the Orangeville A's, trying to knock off the NBL Canada's defending champions. But this was a squad, Kobe, that last year pushed Windsor to a Game 7.
Yeah, they get to plant some roots now. They've got a forever home, which is a great thing for their fans and organization. Looking forward to watching them play. Like you said, they get to try to knock off the defending champs at home. What a way to spoil the party here in Windsor with the ring ceremony. So they're going to be amped and pumped to come out here and play great basketball.
Mm-hmm. Now, Windsor returning some key components of last year's championship squad. The big three, I would come off the top of my head, Chris Commons, Kirk Williams Jr., and Tony Bennett.
Three great players. We know Tony Bennett not in the lineup tonight. He is in street clothes, but just a floor general, a leader. I mean, they're going to be grateful when they got him back, but lots of players in the time being to hold it down. Two of them you spoke about, Chris Commons. Plethora of moves down in the post. He's a stretch forward. He can get out there and shoot the long ball. They're going to look to him for leadership. He's a guy that can execute big plays at crunch times. They're going to need him. Kirk Williams Jr., we've seen what he did in the playoffs last year. The NBL Canada MVP throughout the finals. What a fantastic run he had. If the Express hadn't have brought him in, who knows if they even repeat. He was that good in the NBL playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Kirk Williams Jr. was a phenom in the finals last year, but someone who impressed us in the preseason was Adrian Moss. When we were here earlier in November, Kobe, he dropped 38 points against the Raptors 905, and you got to think that he's coming out hard here to begin the NBL Canada season.
It's funny. You go back and you look at that game, and it was getting out of reach. He literally put the team on his back, and it wasn't just his scoring. It was the leadership. Everybody followed suit. They played off of his emotions, and like I said, it was a team effort for them to play that well against the NBA D-League Raptor 905 team. But he was definitely he ignited the spark for that team, and he's got something to prove. He wasn't in the kind of game shape that he would like to have been last year. So it's Adrian Moss's time to shine in Windsor. Can he be the X factor to take this team to try to repeat for a third time?
Mm-hmm. And of course, Windsor Express getting a lot of good experience out of the 905 game. Jabs Newby and Shaquille Keith, who are on that roster for the 905, on the Windsor Express roster for the opening day. A huge boost for them in the offseason, for sure.
Yeah, we've seen Jabs play in this league before. Great player. And then Shaquille Keith, he was great in college. It's just we're just going to have to wait and see what these guys bring. But we know it's going to be a quality product on the floor no matter what.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you for watching here on Knockstrom.tv and across YouTube as well. We're a few minutes away from tip-off here at the WFCU Center. It's NBO Canada basketball action with the Orangeville A's and the Windsor Express with tip-up shortly to come. We'll join you shortly with the play-by-play call right after these messages.
Bring, but we know it's going to be a quality product on the floor no matter what.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you for watching here on Knockstrom.tv. NBO Canada basketball.
Check. Check. Can I get a... Well, I want to wait for Brett. Check. Can you talk?
Yep. Check. And here is the first member of the Windsor Express being introduced today. That is Shane Ross, the Toledo native, a 225-pound forward, 6'8". He's a big man in the middle. He's definitely going to be used often and, of course, and early and often, by Tony Jones. Theo Davis making his way down to courtside now. 6'10", 230-pound forward out of Gonzaga. Provided a lot of length for the, I believe it was the Orangeville A's, the formerly Brampton A's last season.
And they look to maybe be the Windsor Express need to be a little bit smaller this year, so they're going to need that length. 6'10" is going to be an intricate part of the post play for the Windsor Express.
And here is a local face that Windsor Express fans love and season, Kirk Williams Jr. repping number 32. He'll be a big addition off the bench once again. Go on any other team across the league, Kirk Williams would be your star, but for the Windsor Express, he comes off the bench. Well, that's a great role for him.
And it's also a sacrifice. There's just no ego there. I mean, there's no bones about it. He could, like you said, start any team in this league. So, very selfless dude, and he puts down each time out.
Raheem Singleton, number 4, a guard that came over in the offseason from the St. John Mill Rats. A big, stocky guard, only 190, but he's broad-shouldered and he can get himself into those wedges in the lane and he can finish. Something that Windsor kind of missed last year.
He can also facilitate, one of the best passers in the NBL.
Of course, Adrian Moss bringing out the 5'10" guard out of the University of Indianapolis, from former Greyhound, will lead the charge in the backfield, in the backcourt, pardon my sport. And here's Shaquille Keith, the first-year pro out of Kilgore College in East Texas. 6'5", 200 pounds, and he can take anybody off the bounce, I believe.
Going to be fun to watch. Fans keep an eye out for Shaquille Keith.
And, of course, number 1, big Maurice Bolden. 6'10", 200 plus out of Southern Missouri. This guy put on a show in the exhibition game against the Lima Express at St. Clair College a few weeks ago, and he's a versatile forward, a big guy, but he can definitely take the ball to the rack.
And they're going to need that size down low, as we said earlier.
And here comes Chris Commons, number 3 all-time in NBL Canada games played, with 94, playing his 95th today. A humongous part of this franchise, to say the least, Mitch.
And his leadership is going to be instrumental for this team. They're going to need Chris Commons to stay composed and be that leader we all know he can be if they have plans on repeating again.
And now, Express Nation, we'd ask you to please rise.
Of course, Tony Jones, Bill Jones' brother, will be manning the head coaching job this year for the NBL Canada champions. Of course, the lead assistant with Bruce Pearl's Tennessee Volunteers and Auburn Tigers in the SEC.
decorated resume and the right man to fill the shoes for the time being.
We'll step aside for our national anthem. You're watching NBL Canada Basketball on Knoxstrom.tv. What a wonderful job of the national anthem. That's little Ava Etzel. And over the past couple seasons, Kobe, she's been a little bit of a luck charm for the Windsor Express.
She's a seasoned vet, to say the least. Kicking things off nicely for this crowd tonight on Boxing Night.
That's right. Beautiful crowd here at the WFCU Center. A whole lot of energy in this building right now to kick off the 5th season of NBL Canada action. And of course, Commissioner David Magley putting a whole bunch of hype up into this season, and well deserved. We're going into our biggest season yet.
It seems that the NBL Canada and the powers that be continue to make the right choices for this league to get it into a place where it's, a staple in Canada, not only Canada, North America, around the world. So I'm really impressed with the changes and the growth.
Absolutely. We didn't hear too much about Orangeville in the off-season. They stayed relatively quiet besides their move back to their home in Orangeville. But like when we were talking in warm-up, Smiths, they've got some athletic guys that are seem like they can run and gun, and they're going to be fighting hard here from the get-go.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When I look out onto that floor, I see immediate size in that starting five.
Of course, the mayor of Windsor, Drew Dilkins, at center court doing the ceremonial tip-off.
Big basketball fan.
Humongous basketball fan. A big supporter of the Windsor Express, and he even went to Halifax last season during the finals to watch the team play. Of course, he mixed in some business as well and met with the Halifax mayor and some other local organizations out there. But to say the least, that's a big basketball fan at center court.
It's a good thing for the city because it shows a commitment to this team and franchise being here in the city of Windsor.
The starting lineup for the Windsor Express: Shane Ross in the middle, Maurice Bolden number 1, Raheem Singleton number 4. We'll start in the backcourt: Chris Commons 24 and Shaquille Keith number 22. And here we go. NBL Canada season is underway. Chris Commons knocks down the opening jumper, and it's a 2-0 lead.
That's what you want to see out of Chris Commons right out of the gate.
Heading into his 4th season with the club, Chris Commons knocks down the opening jumper, and here come the Orangeville A's in the low post, swinging it down low, reverse basket made by number 24 Flanard Whitfield. Maurice Bolden in transition, step back 3, thinks again, gives it over to Chris Commons at the top of the key. Commons hands it off to Raheem Singleton, over to Bolden, goes to his right, takes a bounce, goes up, and good defensive play right there by number 13, Richard Amarty. Jump ball, that goes to the Orangeville A's.
Amarty commits no foul on the play. Good defensive stop. Orangeville basketball.
At the guard spot, Lewis Jackson gives it to the high post. That's Justin Moss. Whitfield hands it off to Moss again. Back to Whitfield. The long 3, and he knocks it down. Flanard Whitfield with 5 straight points to start the game off for the Orangeville A's. 5-2 the score.
Red hot out of the gate.
Raheem Singleton crossing over at the free throw line, gives it over to Shaquille Keith on the far wing. The first-year pro gives it into Shane Ross in the low post. He dishes it out to Keith. Keith goes to his right, spins, gets body checked. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be Windsor Express basketball with 1 second on the shot clock. They got to get off something quick here. Singleton, no good, off the heel.
I like the play call, though. Singleton was able to utilize some space there to get a clean shot off.
Lewis Jackson with the ball, looking for a cutter. He's got it. Justin Moss fakes the shot, takes a bump, loses the ball. Maurice Bolden with the turnover and the score at the other end.
Singleton with a beautiful pass to help that basket, help make that basket in transition.
5-4 the score. A's lead. Whitfield on the low post once again. All 5 Orangeville points. Just it out to number 12, Bilal Ben. That is number 12. Yeah, it is, Bilal Ben with the jumper to make it 7-4.
Orangeville coming right back in the faces of the Windsor Express, showing no fear, a lot of confidence right out of the gate.
Last year's division runner-up, the A's.
Yeah, they've quietly been a good team in the NBL, Brett.
Commons shot goes off the mark. Here comes Shaquille Keith. Missed shot. Here is Lewis Hamilton going the other way. And knocking down the shot. Lewis Jackson makes it a 9-4 lead for the Orangeville A's in the early going of the first quarter here in the NBL Canada home opener.
Definitely a good start for the Orangeville A's, Brett. Shooting the basketball well.
Keith in the low post. Manned up, spinning towards the baseline, letting go a shot, and he can't get it to fall. First professional game in the regular season for Shaquille Keith. Justin Moss for 3, leaves it short. Bolden the rebound.
And a good look, though. Moss wide open for that triple.
Moss crossing over, gives it over to Singleton. He'll reset the clock, 15 to go on the shot clock. 10. Double high screen to the corner. Bolden crosses over, puts up the left hand, can't get it to fall. Good job by Justin Moss to adjust the shot. Whitfield off the heel. Moss got it, and Singleton's going to be charged with the loose ball foul.
Orangeville getting some good looks from the three-point line so far. Windsor going to have to lock down that perimeter.
Adrian Moss enters the game for Shaquille Keith. The young fellow showing, getting his first taste of professional ball action. Takes a seat after the opening 4 minutes. And the veteran Adrian Moss comes in. Justin Moss at the rack. Can't get it to fall. Chris Commons had made him readjust that shot. Bolden in transition off the glass. No good, but he draws a foul in the process, and he'll go to the free throw line. Good recognition from Bolden in transition there, Kobe, to get to the rack and draw a foul.
Indeed, and Chris Commons with a good start to this game so far. 2 of 3 from the field with 4 points.
9-4 the score for the Orangeville A's. Bolden, who spent much of the year last year away from the league, a former member of the London Lightning, seems to perhaps have found a new home with the Windsor Express. 6'10", a whole lot of length, something I'm sure that Coach Tony Jones will be able to utilize.
with all these new faces, they're fresh new players for the NBL. So it's going to be fun to watch all of these guys, do their thing for the NBL.
Lewis Hamilton takes a shove on his way to the basket. It'll be called. The foul will be called on the floor. It'll be A's possession on the near sideline. Foul charged to number 11, Adrian Moss of the Windsor Express. Whitfield can't get it to fall. And he will go to the free throw line with a chance to extend Orangeville's lead, now 9-6 with 7:10 remaining. Pardon me, that foul will be called on the floor, and Lewis Jackson will take it out of bounds and set something up for the A's. Whitfield for three. Oh, leaves it just short. It seems like the A's offense early is going through Flannard Whitfield. Not a bad option. Adrian Moss. His three is no good, but Whitfield is there for the rebound. Justin Moss, no one home, off the glass and good for two.
Showing the ability to stretch the floor is Moss. We've seen him out at the three-point line, and then Dare takes it to the rack.
Commons for three, it's good.
And that's the sweet spot for Chris Commons. How many times have we seen him do that?
7 points early on for the all-time leader. Or sorry, the third all-time in games played in the NBL. Whitfield off the bounce, had a step on Ross. Can't get the shot to fall. Raheem Singleton in transition. Singleton for three. Off the heel, Justin Moss with the rebound. Ooh, could have been a travel. But Richard Amarty kept his pivot foot, but then they throw it away. Turnover. And I guess that goes with the term ball don't lie, Kobe.
Little early first game jitters, a little bit of rust for both teams. I'm sure the field goal percentages will be up very, very soon.
Yeah, but an even quarter to say the least. The only 2 points separate the teams. 6 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Can't complain about the product so far.
No, Orangeville getting off some good shots. Their shooters being provided with some space, some good passing and ball rotation. They've been able to attack the rim also.
Now, it was Tony Jones who called the opening timeout of this game. And we'd like to thank you for joining us on Knoxstrom.tv, the home of the Windsor Express. And Chris Commons with 7 early points for the Express, 7 of their 9 to start. I'm sure we're expecting Chris Commons to score a lot of points, but not so much this early on.
Well, they're definitely going to need that. He needs to make a statement right out of the gate. He's returning. He was here for both titles, and an intricate and important part of both rosters. And, of course, this year he can do so much for the Windsor Express. He's one of the guys in this league that I love to watch play down on that block. A lot of speed, plethora of moves. Like I said earlier, he can get out there and shoot the long ball also. He's also a great defender, shot blocker. He can do a lot for the Windsor Express.
Conversely, the Orangeville A's seem to be going inside first to Flannard Whitfield, but he's giving you some looks from the outside as well with some three-point shooting.
Definitely similar versatility from Whitfield.
6 minutes gone in the NBL Canada opener. We've only got a couple hundred denominations of those, right? So it's going to be a fun year, and we're glad to be here at the WFCU Center, and thank you for joining us on Knoxstrom.tv. Game 1 of 40 in the NBL Canada season. Hope you all had a lovely holiday and enjoying the time with your family.
And hopefully Santa was good to you all.
Of course.
Was he good to you, Brent?
Lump of coal, as always, buddy.
Yeah.
Lump of coal.
That's all I got.
Singleton inside to Bolden. Oh, jump ball. So that'll be Windsor Express ball because Orangeville got possession on the last tie-up. Good look out of the timeout from Coach Tony Jones.
And I do like them going inside to Bolden there. Got off a good shot, just didn't fall. Windsor's going to definitely need strong play in the post. So we're seeing some good things early from the playbook of the new coach.
Orangeville packing the paint down low. They're showing some good swarm defense and help defense. Should be interesting to see how that is changed or affected throughout the game. They're just getting things cleared up. Windsor Express basketball after the jump ball. Here they go out of the set piece. Adrian Moss on the far side. Crossing over to his left. Leaving it over to Bolden. Bolden gives the jab step. Gives it inside to Chris Commons, the man you spoke of before. Twisting, turning, putting it up. Oh, just leaving it just short.
I love the attack there. Great defense, though, by Orangeville.
Rick Bodford going inside now. Nice cut to the basket. Oh, he just leaves it short. Nice cut inside. Nice pass inside, pardon me, from Eric Copes. The other end, Adrian Moss is fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
No fear.
No fear whatsoever.
Strong on the left side. He'll head to the free throw line for 2.
And we spoke about it prior to the game, like what a performance from Adrian Moss in the first ever NBA D-League versus NBO Canada exhibition game we had here last month.
Yeah, he took a very quiet crowd and single-handedly helped this place erupt.
Yes.
The team did a great job, no doubt about it, but he really ignited things for the Express there.
38 points really opened up the eyes of head coach Tony Jones and earned himself a spot on the Windsor Express roster because of it.
And a great measuring stick for that team coming into this season to build that confidence early.
Beautiful drive right there from Lewis Jackson. Scoring 2 points and making it a 13-10 score. Jabs Newby enters the game for the Windsor Express. Former member of the Mississauga Power and then turned into the Raptors 905. He'll be a key acquisition. We'll put our eyes on him as the season goes along, I'm sure, Mitt.
No doubt about it. Veteran guy, brings a lot to the floor, a lot to the team. They've replaced, seen some old faces go and bringing in some great quality talent.
One of 2 Raptors 905 former players that joined the Express this year, along with Shaquille Keith. Beautiful drive once again by Lewis Jackson.
And it started with the crossover.
Woo!
Wow.
Tim Hardaway would have been happy with that one.
Filthy.
Chris Commons swings it over to Adrian Moss. 15-10 the score for Orangeville. Jabs at the top of the key. Over to Maurice. Sizing up the opponent, puts up a runner off the glass, no good. Ripped down by Eric Copes.
Both teams getting out some great shots, just not falling, and that one does.
Wow, what a great way for the big man to run the floor. Eric Copes getting the rebound from one end and then running down the floor and scoring, plus the foul in the other. Beautiful play.
Orangeville taking it right to the Express. No fear attacking the rack. Got that one to drop. A momentum shift as the Orangeville A's go up 17-10 over the Windsor Express.
Yes, and a smart timeout called by Tony Jones, making sure that his team doesn't lose any momentum early going. What a nice spurt from the Orangeville A's there to take a nice early 7-point lead over the 2-time defending champs.
And Coltrane is doing the whip and nay-nay right now, Brett.
I've seen crazier things on Boxing Day, so that's no surprise to me. Having some fun here in the WFCU Center Media booth representing Knockstrom Digital Media. I'd like to thank our crew here today. Our executive producer, Alejandro. Emily Rubinski, our camera operator. And of course, folks, we'll see you at halftime for the Knockstrom Halftime Show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince. We know they'll do a great job. Looking forward to that. But first things first, Coltrane's got to work on that whip and nay-nay.
I don't know, man. He's got that thing on lock. He's doing a really good job. But if you put the mascot suit on, you're immediately like in another world, just gonna have fun, right?
Yeah. I'm sure it's so hot in there, it feels like you're just in another universe.
Dancing with the Stars, Windsor Express edition.
That's right. Nice crowd here at the WFCU Center for our home opener tonight, and we hope that our fans watching on Knockstrom.tv and on YouTube are having a great time as well, enjoying their Saturday evening with us. Brett Hedges and Kobe K on the call here from Knockstrom.tv. Copes looking to finish off the three-point play after a well-contested layup at the rack. And he cannot get it to crawl over into the basket. Continues to have the 7-point lead for Orangeville. Zone defense, Chris Commons knocks it down.
You give him that shot, he's going to make it 9 out of 10 times. That is Chris Commons' sweet spot all day long.
Good job by Jabs Newby to attack the gaps of that zone defense and free up that shot from Commons. Hamilton over to Ben. Jumper on the baseline by number 34. Robert Diggs rims out. Jamal McQueen enters the game, number 13, and as does Kirk Williams Jr. I missed that earlier. Commons steps inside the three-point line, takes a bump, and a foul is going to be called on the floor.
Jabs Newby was screaming out for that basketball over on the right wing.
Subs coming in, subs coming out. Number 12, Bilal Ben, checks out Richard Amarty. Jamal McQueen, the trigger man on the far side of the ball. Jabs takes the handoff from Chris Commons at the top of the key. Drives to his left, kicks it out. Adrian Moss to Commons for three. Just short. Jamal McQueen battling for that rebound. Last off of McQueen, so that will be Orangeville basketball.
Great ball rotation there by the Express to find the open man. It was Chris Commons there at the top of the key.
Yeah, if they're going to get that zone defense to move, they got to let the ball do that work for them. So good job by the Express to try and loosen up that defense. Turnover at the top of the key. Chris Commons over to Adrian Moss. Behind the back to Kirk Williams Jr. And he draws the foul. Some creative play by the Express there.
Definitely some highlight reels pass there by Adrian Moss, the young guard for the Express.
But it all started with the defense at the top of the key from Jabs Newby.
And it did, and it always does. Great defense always translates into even better offense.
Kirk Williams Jr., the NBL Finals MVP. Stroking the first free throw and knocking it down. He's got star power, definitely. But he fills into so many different roles. And he's so humble, he doesn't mind which role he resumes.
He really is the perfect leader, Brett.
Low post, Copes puts up a shot, knocks it down over Kirk Williams Jr.
Right in the face of Kirk Williams Jr.
19-14. Good ball movement. Jabs Newby kicks it out to Jamal McQueen. He finds Commons in the low post. Here he goes. Can't get it to fall. Jamal McQueen, offensive rebound. It's good.
I counted almost, I think, 6 passes for the Express before the offensive rebound. Great ball movement.
Jamal McQueen scoring a basket in the first game of his second season.
But the Orangeville A's right back at it, attacking down low.
Good systematic play right there. Robert Diggs with the shot off the glass, keeping the lead at 5 for Orangeville.
Orangeville quietly having a fantastic start to this game.
Jabs drives baseline, kicks it back out to Commons. Long two, can't get it to fall. Long rebound out to Diggs. Over to Hamilton, Lewis Jackson, and then Diggs finishes in close.
And Diggs finding success in the paint again. The Orangeville A's another 2 points down low.
Less than 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Orangeville with a excellent first quarter to start. Adrian Moss crossing over at the free throw line, dishes it out to Kirk. Off the heel, long rebound. Lewis Jackson over. Oh! Eric Copes couldn't finish it down low. Good job by Chris Commons to disrupt that shot. Could be a pretty big swing right there. Jabs Newby. Oh, off the rim.
Orangeville with 14 paints in the point so far, Brett.
Copes, low post, rises and shoots. Knocks it down, hand down, man down.
Beautiful shot. Played with confidence.
Got his feet set, and he just rose up and shot it. 25-16. The Orangeville A's lead the Windsor Express.
And Diggs perfect from the field so far in this one.
Adrian, step back jumper, leaves it short. Jackson the rebound in transition. Pass was just a little bit off. The second chance opportunity from Bilal Ben. is good, and it's an 11-point lead.
The Orange
3, 2, 1. No shot.
looked a little late.
A little lack of communication there. Leads the Windsor Express, getting no shot off late in the quarter, and a great push from the Orangeville A's, in the opening 10 minutes. Kobe leads to an 11-point lead over the two-time defending champs.
Yeah, they've quietly quieted this crowd, shooting 13 for 18 from the field at 72%. But the real story, Brett, is the points in the paint. The A's with 20 to the Express's 4, and then you got to look at the bench scoring. Orangeville 13 points off the bench. Windsor with no bench scoring. You know, looking at these DAC stats, this is what I'm seeing, and this sort of been where they've been a lot stronger. So they've got to find a way to really lock things down in the paint down low to stop the attack at the rim.
10 minutes in the books here to begin the NBO Canada season. The Orangeville A's holding an 11-point lead, leading the way for the Windsor Express after one quarter. Chris Commons going 4 for 8. And we knew that Chris Commons was going to be able to score the basketball, but a little bit of a lack of secondary scoring for the Express, Mitch.
Yeah,
Kobe.
The Orangeville A's also had 5 more field goal attempts, so there's more opportunities to score. I don't know the exact time of possession, but Orangeville sort of dominated, or at least controlled the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. Some balanced scoring as well. We got Flennard Whitfield with 7 points. We've got 6 points from Robert Diggs, as you mentioned, perfect from the field in the opening quarter, and a couple players each that have 4 points. So good scoring. Good scoring throughout the lineup for the Orangeville A's. And that's something that we saw last season as well when David Magley was the coach as well.
Yeah, they had 7 players score in total in the first quarter, so that kind of contribution across the board is going to play big dividends. You know, it speaks of depth, and that's what they're showing already.
Absolutely. Some scores from around the league. The London Lightning currently lead 61-54 over the Niagara River Lions. Halifax and Moncton are in the fourth quarter. That game is currently at 108-98 in favor of the Halifax Hurricanes. And earlier today, the St. John Millrats kicked off the NBL Canada season with a 121-106 victory over the Island Storm. Should be a fun year across the league, Kobe.
I'm just happy to hear you reading scores from around the league, because that means this thing is officially underway.
Yes, me and you have been talking about
That's
this for months. Months we've been talking about this. Exciting to be here at the WFCU, broadcasting on Knoxstrom.tv. Beautiful lay-in from Justin Moss to begin the second quarter.
Right back down, attacking the rim. 22 points in the paint for the Orangeville A's.
Backdoor cut is kicked by Justin Moss. And the Express will have possession on the baseline.
We see Shane Ross now in the game, providing some size for the Windsor Express.
Pass was just a little bit too much in front of Jamal McQueen. Turnover, here come the A's. And going right to the rack, Richard Amarty with a bucket. 15-point lead for the A's, 31-16. Raheem Singleton going inside to Shane Ross, rising up on Whitfield. Can't get it to fall. Jamal McQueen looking for the loose ball. Goes in the hands of Shane Ross. Over to Moss. 3 is no good. And number 2, Rick Bodford with the rebound going the other way. He'll draw the foul on the ground prior to the pass. Quite the flurry of plays there.
Orangeville able to get to the rim again, at least generate something here as they will head to the line. But Windsor has to find a way to defend down low.
Yeah,
or this gap is going to continue to grow.
Absolutely. A lot of points in the paint so far for the Orangeville A's.
24 to be exact.
Windsor sticking to a perimeter game. They haven't been able to knock down their shots. That's why they're down 15 points.
You live and you die by the jumper, my friend.
Inside to Whitfield. Facing up on Shaquille Keith. And Whitfield draws a foul on the first-year pro, Shaquille Keith. Whitfield continuing his strong play. Going to work on the young man from Brampton, Ontario.
The Express are out rebounding the Orangeville A's 7-2. 9-5. Shots just not dropping. 6 for 15 for the field. Orangeville 15 for 20, shooting the ball very well at the rim.
Another stat I'm just looking at now, the Orangeville A's bench outscoring the Windsor Express 17-0.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. But we've seen a lot of rotations here from Orangeville, a lot of fresh players coming into the game.
0 free throws made on that trip from the A's, so Express catch a break on that one. Shaquille Keith backs the ball up, gives it over to Maurice Bolden, and here come the Express. Maurice hands it over to Kirk. He swings it to his right, puts up a jumper off the backboard, no good. Didn't look like that was the shot that Kirk Williams wanted to take.
No, it was a little bit too strong. Not a real high-quality scoring opportunity.
Turnover. Nope. Whitfield got it back. Windsor Express defense reeling. Moss setting it back up, going low post. Working against Williams. He loses it. Bilal Ben can't get it to fall. Windsor Express basketball.
Express worked hard there to get the ball back, Brett.
Sorry, that was Richard Amarty on the previously missed shot. Adrian Moss spin move in the paint. Can't get it to fall. And that just seems to be the mantra of the opening quarter in 2 minutes for the Express.
Nothing dropping. Something will fall and maybe break things open for Windsor here to get some of the momentum back.
Kirk Williams Jr. going to be called for a foul down low. Justin Moss was heading to the rack. Kirk Williams gave him a little bit of a bump. Ball will be on the near sideline, foul line extended. Bilal Ben, the trigger man, number 12.
We'll see Chris Commons try to get something going here for Windsor on the offensive end.
Moss facing up on Commons, putting a shoulder into him. Off the glass and good. And one, Justin Moss. Working against Chris Commons.
Showing off some of those low post moves. Real big, strong guy.
What did it say? Looks like you got at least 21-inch pythons going on there.
Definitely.
Big man, big shoulders. A lot of room to work, a lot of space to be created by that spin move.
21-inch pythons, eh? Make the Hulkster proud.
You can see him all the way from the media booth up there. He's a large individual. Missed the free throw, but a rebound by Bilal Ben gives the Orangeville A's another possession. Moss back to work again. Shaquille Keith can't get it to fall. Got a man down behind the play. Windsor needs to use this to their advantage, but Orangeville draws a foul. Sorry, we'll commit a foul, stop the clock. There was Flernard Whitfield late coming back into the play after he was taken out in the previous offensive possession. Chris Commons at the top of the key over to Maurice Bolden. Driving baseline. Tries to go post to post to Shaquille Keith. Keith didn't have a seal, and that's another turnover. Off the heel. 3-point chance is no good. Bolden running the floor. Can't get the basket to fall. And if there was ever a time for a express and one or an extended play, they needed one right there.
I did like the pass in transition by Moss. This could possibly generate some offense, but I want to see them go down low to Commons, get into that post, and let him do his thing. He started real hot, 9 points early. We haven't seen a lot from him since, but they need somebody to get things going here, whether it be him, Moss, Kirk Williams Jr., whoever it is. And they've got to take some of this momentum back from Orangeville, who are just sort of controlling things right now.
Absolutely. That zone defense clogging up the low post opportunities, but Express need to get something going in the low post if they want to open up the other offensive opportunities. And putting on a little bit of some pressure now. Windsor trying to shake things up a bit. Justin Moss nearly loses it. Man-to-man defense now for the Express. They're down 15 points. Lewis Jackson blocked. Chris Commons, the man you spoke about earlier.
He comes over with the help defense to be able to block that shot over there on the right block, and that's what they needed, a big defensive stop.
Need some energy. Whitfield gives a jab step. Draws a foul. And that one's going to go against Commons. So that's a couple on him early, I believe. Could be wrong. I believe that might be a second.
Express foul on number 24, Chris Commons, his second team.
I was right. Second foul.
9 different players scoring for Orangeville so far, Brett.
Wow. Talk about depth. Justin Moss. Nice instincts using him there. No one home for the Express on the box out.
And he made them pay.
Shaquille Keith getting a high screen, getting grabbed by Flanard Whitfield, and drawing a foul.
Justin Moss, just a brute force down there in the post.
Orangeville's third foul of the quarter. Windsor down 17 with a whole lot of time to go in the quarter. Maurice Bolden, top of the key, gets a defender in the air, drives up. No foul. Maurice Bolden, second chance, no good. Commons, third time, will draw a foul. And Adrian Moss calls the troops together. Gets a singular message going on here.
Good effort, though, by the Express down low to make something happen.
And it seems like that's the kind of play and effort that it's going to take to get them back into this game. They got to scratch and claw on each possession now.
And every time that happens, something good comes from it. Either they get to the free throw line or they take some of that momentum away. So this is really going to come down to an immense amount of effort by the Express to get back in this thing. 35-19 now as Commons makes the first free throw.
Fourth foul called on Orangeville in the quarter. So due to FIBA rules, once they get a couple more, it'll be free throws the rest of the way for the Express. And with just under 8 minutes to go in the quarter, that could be a big push, Kobe.
Indeed, and also, some great ball rotation by Orangeville. 8 total team assists to the Express's 2.
Common steals it on the inbound, puts up a reverse layup and scores.
And there's that big play from Chris Commons we were talking about earlier.
Guarding the inbound. And then Lewis Jackson nearly turns it over. Swarming Express defense. Ball's in the corner. Bilal Ben to the middle. Oh, and Eric Copes knocks down the jumper in the paint.
And Shaquille Keith came over to help on defense. There's nothing he can do. And one of those shots that just falls.
Opening it up a little bit. Express getting a much-needed basket. Still a 15-point deficit. Moss in the corner to Commons for 3. Yep. 3 triples for Commons so far.
Great passing, swing around the perimeter there. It all started with Adrian Moss finding the open man in the corner, and Chris Commons drains the triple. 12 points now. He's the lead guy for the Express.
Absolutely, and a well-timed timeout by the Orangeville A's.
So you see the big defensive play there by Commons. He's able to get a basket down low. They did some nice work under the basket, and then obviously Commons there with the triple. So this is what the Express need to do. This is really coming down to effort as they've closed the gap now. Just 12 is a 12-point lead for the Orangeville A's.
Absolutely, and Chris Commons leading the way. 6 of 10 shooting, 16 points so far in the early going already for the Express. So the veteran leading the way, but the rest of the team has got to bound together and try and funnel down this lead. Here in the opening game of the NBL Canada season on Knockstrom.tv. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Yeah, we'd like to thank some of our crew members, Emily Rubinski today. And Leo Gonzalez. Thank you very much for your help today. And, of course, you'll see Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince later on the halftime show. And, of course, your humble servant, Alejandro De Armero. A fan favorite across the league. Alejandro, say hello to your dying fans. Adoring fans, I should say.
Yes, well, for all those worshippers of the Orange Sphere, a big hello.
I'm sure I haven't checked my Twitter or anything, but I'm sure I'm getting berated with requests for Alejandro. So we'll be catching in with him, touching in with Alejandro throughout the broadcast.
the ladies love Alex. And I apologize, guys. My DAC stats wasn't updated yet. Comments 6 of 10, 16 points, 2 of 3 from three-point land, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. So the lead and point man for the Windsor Express, Chris Commons.
And like you said, like we just spoke about Commons line, but the stat that's standing out to me is the the Orangeville Ace stat. 9 different players have scored for that squad so far in this game.
Yeah, the bench scoring right now 21-2, but that's going to come when you have depth, when you have this many players in the rotation that you can bring into the game and can do damage.
Chris Commons
to show on the stat sheet.
Commons nearly picking off another pass on the inbound coming out of the timeout, and you saw that earlier. He picked off the the inbound pass and threw up a reverse layup and getting this team into it a little bit. 37-25 to go here. Under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. On Knockstrom.tv, Brett Hedges and Kobe K on the call with you today. 3 from Whitfield. Short. Justin Moss rebounded. It goes off of Moss. And Windsor will have possession. Hey, folks, if you've got Twitter, make sure to follow my good friend Kobe. Oh, we're gonna get a warning on Orangeville for possessing the ball after the possession.
That was only the Orangeville A's second three-point attempt of the game. Doing all their work in the paint, 30 points in the paint so far to the Express's 6.
High screen, Adrian Moss to the rack. Can't get it to fall. Shane Ross underneath the basket, couldn't time it up. It was hanging there for a bit, but here come the A's. Top of the key, Bilal Ben. In the corner, Lewis Jackson. Jabs Newby was right in his face. Chris Commons can't get the rebound. Lewis Jackson with the ball at the top of the key, off the glass. Can't get it to fall. Shaquille Keefe with the rebound. Running with the rebound. Wow, he's getting off the floor quick. Euro step finishes in the hole.
Coast to coast after the rebound. Great play there.
First regular season basket for Shaquille Keith in his rookie season for the Windsor Express. So there's a milestone right there, folks.
Coming off a huge rebound. Great play for the newcomer.
Traveling violation in the corner will go against Richard Amarty. And the Windsor Express down 10 points now. A couple mistakes being made on the Orangeville side, and Windsor's taking advantage of it. What does Fetty Wap think?
Brett's breaking it down up here. For those of you that can't see, he's got it going on.
Jabs Newby at the top of the key. Hands it off to Shaquille Keith. Crosses over to his left. Off the bounce. Going right at Richard Amarty. Grabs his own rebound. Puts it up and good for 2.
What a second effort. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Single digit deficit now. Amarty signaling for a high screen and roll. Windsor Express defense. Swarming. Turnover. Windsor Express basketball on the tie-up.
And you see Shaquille Keith really starting to play well in the second quarter, helping to turn things around a bit for the Express. Adrian Moss just really needs to get it going. Some just needs to drop. He's 1 for 5, but he's had some good looks, and I have a feeling once one of these shots falls, it's going to start things up for him.
Yeah, like we said in the pre-show, you can't talk about Game 40 until we finish Game 1, so we knew there was going to be a little bit of hiccups here and there. And there's one right there. Bilal Ben taking advantage of the turnover. Blocked from behind. Jabs Newby. But he's going to be called for the foul.
What an athletic pass. Over the shoulder. I don't even know how to describe that. It was just awesome.
Great play in transition. Rick Bodiford to the line now. Blocked from behind from Jabs Newby. The foul called.
We're seeing some good continuity here from the Orangeville A's. It's like this group has played together for quite some time. Really passing the ball well, playing together as a team, and showing it on the scoreboard.
Bodiford misses the first one. 37-29, the Orangeville A's lead. 4:37 remaining in the second Q. Bodiford knocks down the second, splits the pair, makes it an even 9 points.
The A's 1 for 6 from the free throw line.
Adrian Moss blows by the defenders, stops in the lane, puts up a strong 2-foot jump stop, and scores at the rack.
And there it is. Big basket for the Express. Lead cut to 7. They can get into halftime here with this thing close. This would be good news for the Windsor Express going into the third. But lots of time left.
Lots of time left, exactly. Orangeville. Ooh, just off the heel there.
Diggs taking the extra step.
Commons draws a foul going to the lane. And we just have, Theo Davis checked in now. Big man, 6'10", Theo Davis, the Canadian, coming out of Gonzaga University.
With that length you're talking about, you see Commons there attacking the rack. Good things happening when he does that.
Looking to add to his point total again.
Really, really held it down here for the Express in the first half as the first one rims out.
Game number 95 for Chris Commons in the NBL Canada.
Always a strong free throw shooter. I believe he was up around 70% last year.
Nice crossover there. Get some separation between himself and Moss. It's Lewis Jackson. Just running. Ooh. A lot of heart, a lot of hustle. Just didn't result in something that he liked. Adrian Moss for 3 in transition. Big play right there. Flash. Whole lot of dribbling.
We talked about him getting it going. There it is.
Whole lot of dribbling from Lewis Jackson led to the turnover and the wide open look from Moss. 3-point game now, Kobe.
He looked like he was cutting to the rim and then elected to stay out at the perimeter. Moss called for that basketball. His teammates heard him, found him on the open wing, and splash, hits the 3. Big bucket for the Express.
Absolutely. Now we've got number 2, Rick Bodiford, back to the free throw line, looking to push the lead to 5 with a pair of free throws. Ooh, and it rattles out. We see some fun bounces off of these rims. You never know what's going to happen. We've seen game-tying shots just rim out slightly. We've seen it go halfway down and pop out, so it's interesting to say the least. And another warning going to be issued after a free throw. And back to gameplay now. Split pair of free throws from Bodiford makes it an even 4 points. Heading towards the 3-minute mark, and Bodiford's going to be called for a hand check on Moss.
And good call there by the ref.
Yeah, that far away from the basket, it almost seems unnecessary. Almost seems for a player to put his hand on the hip. You know what I mean? But
speedy guy, and trying to control him off the dribble, and to the free throw line he goes to try to cut this lead, which is now down to 4 points.
And it's easy for me with a headset to say, "Hey, move your feet. Don't put a hand check on a guy." But
I hear you.
I'd like to see us play some defense against those guys.
Hey, I played basketball in grade 8. I know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Express only trailing by 2 after a pair of free throws by Moss, and you can hear the Express crowd getting into it.
As a direct result of Windsor taking the momentum back from the A's.
And it all started with that initial push they got from putting on the full court press. It always seems they got to get the boys get their feet moving to get themselves some momentum.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And then also, not being letting Orangeville control the glass has really helped.
Adrian, rattles out, Theo Davis with the rebound. Ends up out of bounds. No, good save there by number 34, Diggs.
Orangeville showing some composure keeping that ball in bounds.
The length of Theo Davis helping out Windsor there. He just couldn't get the hand on the basketball. Getting blown by there, Justin Moss. Blowing by Theo Davis there and scoring at the rack.
Dominating at the rim. The much bigger version of Moss.
What can Moss do for you? Jabs Newby on the baseline. Tries to sneak it in. And they're going to... The Orangeville bench will argue that he was pushed, but Lewis Jackson turns it over.
And you see Jabs Newby right there fighting for that rebound, and that's what Windsor needs is somebody down low, fighting tooth and nail, like you said, clawing for every basketball.
Jabs Newby takes a seat. Shaquille Keith comes in. Adrian Moss nearly lost it on the inbound, but he controls it now and he pulls it out. Smart move by the...
Oh, what a pass.
Woo!
Good Lord.
Shaq Keith benefiting from an Adrian Moss dime.
Yeah.
And one.
What an entry pass into the paint by Adrian Moss. Off the no-look.
Left-handed push. Woo! Across the body, too.
Court vision, folks.
Yeah. We could see that happening because we're about 75 feet higher than everybody else here, but when you're at that level, you don't see it coming. Turnover. Nope. Adrian Moss trying to sneak in there again.
And more importantly, if you're a Windsor Express fan, this lead is now officially cut to 1 with a $1:55 left in the second quarter.
Oh, Justin Moss turning it over, losing it when he got over the timeline. See, momentary lapses of... Oh, wow, Shaquille Keith. Beautiful move there. He got tripped up on his way there. Now the officials are going to talk about a Euro step. We'll see. Either way, it was a tough move to the basket. He got bumped.
I think it'll be Orangeville ball.
Yep, traveling violation. At least they got together. They confirmed the call. That's what we always talk about.
What I like from Shaquille Keith is the aggression. He's not scared. He's taking it hard to the rack. He's playing defense. He's passing the basketball. I have a feeling he's going to be a strong addition to this squad this year, Brett.
Absolutely. 6 points in the second quarter after a scoreless opening frame for the first-year pro out of Kilgore College.
Yeah, this is almost a completely revamped roster. Obviously, we have returning players, but I think there's been more of a change this year than there was last year. Don't quote me on that. It's just what I think off the top.
A noticeable change,
It's going to take time for not only the Windsor Express, for all of these guys to learn to play together and really get things flowing, which is one of the things I was so impressed with from Orangeville through the first half, was that team continuity and that real team play.
Timeout called by the Orangeville A's. They currently lead by 1. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And both teams are coming out. Shortly after halftime begins, we will have the Knoxstrom halftime report with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince, 2 of our colleagues, and they do a phenomenal job covering this league and have for a couple of years now.
Yeah, welcome additions to the Knoxstrom team. Working always to bring you a better broadcast year in and year out.
Of course, we've had ourselves a whole lot of highlights here at the whole lot of success here in Windsor, so we're proud to be a part of that.
And you and I worked hard this offseason with our strength and conditioning program.
That's right.
Case of pop and some
Church. Wow. Adrian Moss stepping in front of a much larger man in Robert Diggs, drawing the charge and getting the ball back for the Windsor Express.
That's the kind of leadership that you want out of your point guard. And we look at the holes that were left. We will see Tony Bennett again, but we said goodbye to Gary Gibson and Tony Bennett for now. And you have Raheem Singleton and Adrian Moss, and the brand new faces. They have a big shoes to fill. Both just such quality players. The Windsor Express have been really fortunate to bring those guys in.
It's going to be a offensive foul call after the confirmation. And good job by Adrian Moss, like you said. And of course, Kobe, we did talk about our strength and conditioning in the offseason. You know, we spoke on the phone multiple times talking about basketball, and you know, we're just getting into that game shape. You know, as this regular season turns around. So, but we are more than phenomenally happy to be here and representing Windsor and Knoxstrom.tv all at the same time. We'll see if Audley Stevenson will come up. Ooh, late call on the moving screen. Theo Davis getting called for that one. And I'm sure Audley will come up for the second half of the broadcast. He usually makes his appearance. I see him courtside.
I was just looking at him, and then you mentioned him, so great minds think alike.
And Audley Jr. as well.
He's there, yes, young baller himself. See him throwing down on social media.
Justin Moss swings it over to Lewis Jackson. Lewis Jackson fakes, gives it over to Diggs. Diggs had the shot disrupted by the 6'10" Theo Davis. And now Theo Davis is running the floor. Shaq Keith can't get it to fall, but there is Davis. Like we said, that length providing dividends.
He shut things down in the post, and then he just came back the other way, and good things happened for the Express.
Rick Bodiford got himself in a whole lot of trouble, but a foul call on Maurice Bolden will bail him out.
You got to love the ball instincts by Davis there to be able to come up with that offensive board, and then, of course, the putback.
And I was watching him as soon as he finished defending that play, and it was a straight A to B line right to the base of that basket. And if he hadn't have gone that hard, he wouldn't have got that rebound. So
yeah, great effort.
Closing speed, to say the least, going from basket to basket.
And you've seen him make things much more difficult in the post for Moss, which subsequently caused him to miss the shot.
Rick Bodiford misses the first free throw. Windsor Express up 42-41 after trailing by as many as 15 points earlier, Kobe.
Much different team so far late in the second quarter, really turning things around.
Bodiford squares this game up at 42 apiece by splitting the trip to the free throw line.
Adrian Moss looks like he's walking a little gingerly. I'm wondering if he was injured a little bit taking that charge.
Let's see what the point guard's got up his sleeve. Strong move to his right. Regroups to his left. Step back, trying to find a man. Kicks it out to Commons. Commons brings it to the other side of the floor, looking for an inside job to Shaquille Keith. He keeps it on the bounce. Goes to his left, crosses over right baseline. Off the glass, no good. Air ball. Bodiford, under 30 seconds to go, pushing the ball up the floor. Justin Moss. Over to Bodiford. Air mails it into the corner. Lewis Jackson couldn't get up that high to get it. Turnover.
So the Express have an opportunity here to close the quarter out, possibly if they run the clock down and maybe take the lead. So big possession here going into the half.
The shot clock is off.
Thank you, Alex. And the Express will call a timeout. Smart play, 22 seconds remaining. Shot clock is off, as Alex said. And tie game. And we've seen almost a little bit of everything in this opening half, Kobe.
Indeed, we've seen a much better effort out of the Windsor Express. I think it really started in the second quarter. Orangeville hanging around, talented group of players, seasoned veterans and professionals.
And just looking at the quick scores here, in the opening quarter, it was Orangeville taking a 27-16 lead, and right now, currently, the Express outscoring the Orangeville A's 27-15.
Yeah, they really picked things up, and they're shooting now collectively 45% from the field through two quarters, so they're shooting the basketball much better, but they're also 4 of 9 from three-point land. That shot really working for them because of Mr. Chris Commons. The Express have also been solid from the line, 10 for 14 in terms of where their free throws are at, so really, a few of these shots that just didn't fall, and all of a sudden they would have been leading this game.
Yeah. So it's always good to see these close scores early on. Of course, you saw that the Niagara River Lions staying within 5-7 points of the London Lightning 2 on opening day. So always good to see the parity of the league, which makes our league so great, the NBL Canada. Canada's only professional basketball league. Paul McQueen, backdoor cut to Adrian Moss, reverse layup, can't get it to fall. Oh, he had to avoid the defender. He made the right move, just put a little bit too much on it.
He came in through that back door earlier, and nobody was home. Difficult shot, but I like the play call.
5, 4, 3, 2 to the rack. Lewis, nope, no good.
So a good hold there, and we'll go into the half, 42-42.
What an exciting opening half it was. We saw a little bit of everything. The teams combined for a identical first and second quarters, except reverse. The Windsor Express trailing 27-16 after the opening quarter, but now it's switched to the other side. They outscored the A's 27 to whatever.
We were talking about the bench scoring and the points in the paint. There being so much contrast between the two, and Windsor has really picked it up. The bench scoring now for the Orangeville A's 23, the Express with now 11 off the bench. At one point that was 0, and then 2, and then of course the points in the paint. Still where the Orangeville A's are doing most of their damage. They currently have 32. The Express now with 16, so much better. When we're looking at rebounds, Orangeville A's 19, the Express 18. So both teams doing well on the boards. The Orangeville A's, though, got to pick it up from the free throw line, 3 for 9 for 33%. Then the Express, 10 for 14 for 71%. The Orangeville A's, not that many shots from deep. They are 1 from 5 from three-point land. The Windsor Express, 4 from 9. A lot of that because of Chris Commons. But collectively, the Orangeville A's are shooting the ball well. 54%, 19 or from 35 from the field goal range. And then the Express, much better second quarter collectively, 14 of 32 for 43%. Your scoring leader for the Windsor Express, Chris Commons with 17. And for the Orangeville A's, it is Moss with 8 points, pardon me.
So those are our two leading scorers for the Windsor Express, but like we said earlier, a lot of balanced scoring from the Orangeville A's. We saw it starting off with the inside game with Flanard Whitfield, which obviously led to the prowess from the scoring in the paint for Orangeville. And your thoughts about the balanced scoring from Orangeville?
Well, there were 10 players that scored collectively. Right? You're going deep into the rotation and utilizing everyone. And that's a good thing, especially in a close game, because it means everybody's touching the ball and everybody's producing. So you can always go to somebody to count on for a bucket. So that's a good thing if you're the Orangeville A's. Depth, such an important thing. It's such an important, intricate part of basketball.
Of course, we've seen that how important that depth has been in the 2 championship runs that the Express have had. It seems that on some nights it was their 7th, 8th, and 9th guys that were being the stars for them on some occasions.
Yeah, and Shaquille Keith, real quick, 3 for 6 from the field. He has 7 points, but he also has 3 rebounds. He's played great basketball through 2 quarters. Excited to watch him go.
And now we will send it over to our halftime crew. Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince will take it away with the Knockstrom Halftime Show. Enjoy it. We'll be back for second half action on Knockstrom.tv.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a ball game right here, all tied up at 42 between the Windsor Express and the Orangeville A's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premier edition of the Knockstrom Halftime. I'm Aaron Sanders, and with me a great friend of mine, a basketball aficionado himself, Justin Prince. And Justin, we have quite a ball game going on here at the end of the first half.
Yes, definitely. This game has been an interesting one for sure. At the start of this game, it seemed like the Windsor Express were struggling for the most part. But right now, I can tell you right now, the end of the second quarter, the Windsor Express definitely stepped it up. For the most part, Windsor, for the most part, at the end of this quarter, went from being down double digits to a tie ball game. At points in this game, though, this defense, I should say, was static for the most part. And as well, same for this offense at times. Like they would go on the outside at first, then started going the inside, but not pass enough. What are your thoughts so far in this game, too?
Well, like I said, the first quarter was quite slow. They had many opportunities to go in the hole. I mean, they had some sloppy ball movement down on the post. That's something that you shouldn't do most of the time. You should go for the easy shot. But as the second quarter pick up, Tony Jones must have said something to them, just pick it up in short form. And boy, they have, and that's why we're all tied up.
Yes, definitely. So before we head on to our next game recap, I'm going to give you a breakdown of both the Windsor Express and the Orangeville A's. Now, starting off with the Windsor Express, of course, they're coming off back-to-back championships. But there's a lot of differences with this team, that's for sure. With the Windsor Express, they have only 6 returning players on this roster. One of the players they lost is MVP, the 2015 MVP, Quinnell Brown. And he is now playing in Uruguay, unfortunately. But let me tell you, there is also a lot of different things with this team. Kevin Loisel now also part of the London Lightning. But there's also a few interesting acquisitions. I can already tell you this team, to start off, while it has a little bit of bumps, has a lot going on. For example, one player to watch is Adrian Moss. Much of last season, he was a bench warmer, to be honest. Part of the season, he was put on reserve and then activated off and on near the end of last season. And as well, he had played very rebounds against far has been an interesting game for sure. You have Chris Commons as well, who has played very well for the team. But let me tell you, this should be interesting. Head coach Tony Jones is an interim coach, of course, in a 1-year suspension due to what happened in the last finals. So, is with Coach Jones, the out with Tony Jones. The Orangeville A's. The Orangeville A's, there's a lot going on. Moving from Brampton to Orangeville to play at the Institute. There was a lot of turnover on this roster. For the most part, it's going to turn here on this page. For the most part,
1 to 2.
So basically,
Dustin.
of turnover with this roster. And I also want to note. But let me tell you, the Express, this week is a rematch of the Central Division Final. Of course, David Magley was the head coach for this team last year. Now is the commissioner. So they national team. But one player I want to watch right now is Eric Copes. Eric Copes was the first overall pick for the Niagara River Lions and is now part of the A's after being cut during training camp. For the most part, though, from what I've seen from tonight and everything else, this team is playing very well and could do well this season.
Let's talk about
Dustin. Dustin. 1 to 2. Dustin.
Points, I believe it is. 9 rebounds, shooting 12 15, from the field. As well, Mike Glover for the Halifax played very well himself. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 12 to 16 himself in the field. And Justin Johnson had 19 points, 5 attempts, 6 threes. But for the most part, it was a difference between the two offenses. The Miracles played more of an isolation-type offense in that match. Well, the Hurricanes, for much of the time, to kick out, also did now, as well.
we got a team right here, the London Lightning and the Niagara's an expansion team right here. BLC so far in the 92 to 7. Now the breakdown for you, the London team, we have group. You know, they are post happy, which means they will go to the post at any time they will. They are not afraid to take it all the way, and they have a strong transition game as well. Now let's mention a former Express player who's now on there, Kevin Loisel. For that player to be on that team, you know, it brings depth to the roster. Last year they finished second in the Central Division, tied 18 wins and 14 losses. They lost in the first round to Brampton in all 5 games, 3-2. Now for Niagara, like I mentioned, this is a new team in the NBLC this year. 12 players on the roster, 4 of them are Canadian. Which one? Incidentally, we have Greg Carter. He is a 5'10" point guard from Lakehead. Now I'll tell you, this player is unselfish, and he plays what I love the most and what I consider a master lock defense. Even if and giving it up to his teammates. Another player in particular, Traymar Sutherland, a 6'3" shooting guard formerly from the Moncton Miracles. He is forceful inside the paint, and he is a confident outside shooter, and his sweet spot is among the weakest. Now we have another game right here, coming up right here. This is a game that finished up early enough. From the 106. Mountain from Grant was Islander. Leading scorer. And for the St. John Mill Rats, Anthony. I'll tell you something. What the Storm, they finished 19-13 last season, and they were second in the Atlantic Division. They were 2 games behind Island Storm last year in the Atlantic Division. They finished 17-15. Now their offseason additions, it's for the offense, for the better. We're talking about Robinson Odox Opong, who averaged 14.8 points per game when he played in Rogers State. Now this is a versatile shooter, ladies and gentlemen. He is fearless, and he goes all around in the front court. I call him the trigger man. We go to the coach, Ron Spahn. Last year he was with the undefeated season and won the championship. Figures, am I right?
Doesn't.
Now, let's talk about the second half right here, JP. What do the Express have take this?
Definitely do what they did near the end of the second quarter. More screens and don't be static on. Now for much of this game, there was a lot of players left open, or players were not fighting out for rebounds. If they show that energy and do those rotations and stay not static, they will do very well for the second half.
They have to display such a tough defense, and they got squeeze the. They're missing chances on offensive rebounds. They have to get those second chances. I show them who's boss. Anytime, it has to be your neighborhood. You got to control the tempo and control of the game. Right here at the WFCU Center, the score is all knotted up at 42 between the Windsor Express and Brett Hedges following this commercial timeout. You are watching Windsor Express.
And welcome back to the WFCU Center, ladies and gentlemen. A big thank you for Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince for the Knoxstrom halftime show. They did a phenomenal job setting up the second half of action between the Orangeville A's and the Windsor Express. And of course, we are joined by a special member of the NBL Canada community. But before we do that, Mitch, your thoughts on the first half and what we're going to see in the second.
Oh, I thought Windsor played a lot better in the second quarter. Orangeville attacked the rim, and it showed on the scoreboard 32 points in the paint. Didn't rely on a lot of outside shooting. So it'll be interesting to see if they go back to that nucleus. Windsor played a lot better defense in the second quarter. Defended in the paint a little bit better. So it'll be interesting to see if they go back to that attack. Then of course the Express, a lot better effort defensively in the second quarter. We got some big plays out of some new faces. And then of course we've seen Moss start to heat up at the end of the second quarter. So it'll just be for the Express continuing to make that effort defensively.
Check.
And the celebrity...
Check.
The celebrity in the building is here.
This brings me back to my days when I was an MC, man. Mic check, one check.
Absolutely. Audley Stevenson in the booth with Mitch Kobe K and Brett Hedges. And Audley, welcome to the booth. And are you enjoying what you're seeing so far in this game?
You know what? A fine example of why you play basketball, a full game. Great start by the Orangeville A's, and you looked at Windsor going, wow, who are these guys? Because you didn't recognize them. Orangeville took them out of everything that they wanted to do. And, adjustments are made, and next thing you know, you got a tie game at half.
Phenomenal. Picked off pass there. Shaquille Keith, one of the members of the Raptors 905 that came over this year, and he's an exciting prospect to say the least, Audley.
Well, you give it to the Windsor Express coaching staff and Bill Jones and Dardis Willis and, be able to find personnel. They saw what Shaquille Keith did to them as a member of the 905, and he's like, yeah, we got to get him.
Absolutely. He's been a welcome addition to the team, as well as Jabs Newby, a guy who was formerly of the Raptors 905, but we know him as well from playing for the Mississauga Power last year. Raheem Singleton with a 3 to start the second half, off the mark. Windsor Express gets a new shot clock. Bolden steps into a 3, knocks it down.
First lead
of the game for the Express.
And Chris Commons with the rebound there, making that thing happen. He's got 17 for the Express. That's the kind of start that the Express were looking for out of Chris Commons. He's that guy coming in that you need him to be that leader, and he's done just that.
And he's done that his whole NBL Canada career, guys. This isn't anything new from him. I think the quality or the sign of a quality leader is one that knows when to step in and do what needs to get done, and he's done that.
3 from Richard Amarty. Goes off the glass and no good. Shaquille Keith in transition gets a screen from Shane Ross. Goes to his right. Crosses over, drives baseline. No call. Amarty in transition over to Lewis Jackson. Scoops it up and scores at the rim for 2.
How fast is Lewis Jackson?
0 to 60.
My goodness.
That was 2 straight for that young man.
46 to 45 the score here in the third quarter. Audley Stevenson joining us in the booth.
It's always a pleasure to be up here, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure having you here.
We see Orangeville going back to that nucleus of attacking the rim to start the third quarter, something they found a great deal of success on through the first 2.
Commons lets it go.
And some people go, wow, why is he taking that shot? That shot is within his range, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's be clear on that.
And it's like he got caught up. He got caught in between when to shoot and when not to.
Shouldn't I?
That is his sweet spot. He hit 2 of those through the first 2 quarters.
That's exactly it.
And when you've got 95 games of NBL Canada experience underneath your belt, you know what? I'm going to let you take that shot, Chris.
You just got those stats on the top of your head. I love it.
I can't
Thanks
wait
to Instagram, those things are readily available. Tyrone Levitt leads with 134. Yeah. Kevin Loisel going in his 102nd game today.
Ooh! Wow.
Intentional foul there. That's going to go against Shane Ross. Just glad to see that Lewis Jackson is stirring, obviously. He's doing okay.
You got to love Coach Thomas. He looked to his bench right away and said, guys, do not move. We've seen in the NBA series, playoff series lost because guys have cleared the bench, and he looked at the bench right away and said, "Guys, don't move. Stay right there." That's just veteran coaching right there.
Absolutely. Coach Thomas taking over for David Magley and obviously not missing a beat. This team's playing a high-level style, and they're pushing the two-time champs right off the bat.
That they are.
Lovely crowd here at the WFCU Center to kick things off on Boxing Day. We hope you and your family had a lovely holiday, Audley.
Oh, we did well. You know, it's that time to slow it down a bit. It was a different kind of a holidays because we're so close to the start of the season that as much as you want to relax, you can't take it too easy.
That's right. 2 free throws made by Jackson. And makes it 48-45. Orangeville retains possession due to the... Would you call that an intentional foul? Is that the nomenclature of that?
That's it. You got it.
We don't want to get it wrong.
You got it. And if we did, someone out there would tell us we're wrong. So
that's right.
Don't
There's
worry about it.
so many different ones. There's clear path fouls, technical, intentional. And Shane Ross getting called for another one. Flynard Whitfield looking to swing through and go to the basket. It wasn't happening. Ross called for a second consecutive foul.
Flynn Whitfield has looked real aggressive and real nice at the offensive end. Now, he told me over the summer he spent a lot of time up in Orangeville training, and you can see it obviously.
Yes, the Athlete Institute in Orangeville has been getting a workout over the summer, I'm assuming.
Man.
Having the NBO Canada Combine there, and busy place. Some recent upgrades I've heard as well, oddly.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, they're all suited and ready to have NBL Canada games played there. That will be their home. Whoa, wow.
Good job by Flynn Whitfield getting over and blocking that shot, but a foul called in the process. Raheem Singleton will go to the free throw line.
It seems Orangeville is really in a place now to set some roots now and have that community and area grow together, and they've got a forever home, if you will. 10 different players scoring in the first 2 quarters. That is depth.
That's so. Listen, guys, the talent level in this league. I know we say this and it's a line we hear often that the talent's really good. But let me tell you something. The talent is really good.
That's right. And of course, that the talent pipeline, so to speak, being solidified. Shane Ross with a putback basket off the missed free throw, makes it a 1-point game.
Got to attack the offensive glass. Someone clearly forgot to box him out.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that pipeline kind of being solidified with the Mississauga Power becoming the Raptors 905 and kind of forming a little bit of a partnership with the NBA and the D-League.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that we want to be able to work together, and this isn't, we're not competing with the D-League or the Raptors or MLSC at all. We can make this work together, and we saw that, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, the 905 having some success as well, and we welcome the new franchise, the Niagara River Lions. They're currently playing the London Lightning.
I didn't get a score on that game, but I know it was close.
We had the halftime score a little while ago, but we'll check into that. Raheem Singleton stops, pops, can't get the shot to fall. Lewis Jackson hands it over to Bilal Ben. He scores the easy 2 points.
The final out in Halifax. Halifax has gone undefeated. They won, beating Moncton Miracles. Mike Glover, 30-11.
Wow.
Another day at the office.
The East Coast finishing their games. Of course, the St. John Mill Rats scoring. Raheem Singleton off the glass there.
Strong with the left hand.
The St. John Mill Rats taking a 121-106 decision over the Island Storm earlier today.
He's a guy that's really impressed me, Moss, throughout this game so far for the A's.
Yep.
Big, strong dude.
Yep, Justin
great
Moss.
post play.
Oh, for sure.
Good find from Chris Commons inside to Raheem Singleton. It's good for 2.
You love it when your guards take the contact in the paint and still finish.
He's built that way. Raheem Singleton's got that strong plant. Yeah, he's a great center of gravity.
And another man using his center of gravity is Chris Commons taking that charge and going to the ground.
And found a way to finally stop Moss down there on the block because he was having his way so far down there.
He was.
Like, Justin Moss looks like a monster from up here. I can't imagine what he looks like courtside.
He's a beast.
Beautiful view from courtside that some of our Windsor Express and NBL Canada fans are enjoying today on opening day across the league. From our family to yours, we'd like to thank you for joining us on Knockstrom.tv. Audley Stevenson in the house.
Shane
Ross scoring.
Finish. You see, so Shane Ross, sometimes the little things you need to get your game going, and he got that tip in, and now he's feeling good about himself. Nice back to the basket move, and he got 2.
Windsor Express in transition. Tony Jones telling his boys to move. Adrian Moss takes the contact and scores in tight.
What a cut. 13 points now for Moss. It seemed like he was 1 for 4 forever, and then he just started turning things on in the second quarter.
We saw that combination, that 9:05 game here with Moss and Singleton. And
Shane Ross getting called for a foul as Flynn Whitfield went to go to the baseline. That's 3 consecutive fouls on Shane Ross. And the reigning NVO Canada Finals MVP, Kirk Williams Jr., enters the floor.
Ross will head to the bench. Did get a couple buckets for the Express, but picked up those 3 fouls.
Shane Ross, the boss, isn't afraid to mix it up, man.
Boss the Ross. Ross the boss.
Not afraid at all.
Oh, nice give and go right there.
Beautiful.
Bilal Ben finding Lewis Jackson
Utilizing
the basket.
the bounce pass.
Raheem Singleton can't score in tight. Bilal Ben spins away from pressure. Great lead pass. Flynn Whitfield goes up, but he's blocked. A foul's going to be called on Kirk, I believe.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, that's going to go against Kirk Williams Jr., but he went up to go up and contest that shot. And if he didn't, Flynn Whitfield was going to smash it down on top of his head. Wow.
This is only the first night, guys.
That's what I mean. No nights off.
Holy competitive. Both sides. It's a great game.
That free throw ties the game at 55 with 6:15 to go in the third quarter. Flynn Whitfield, one of the 4 Canadians on the Brampton A's roster. From the Ottawa region, I believe. Area? I believe so. Flynn. Oh, sorry.
No.
That's a different name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Flynn's a Detroit native.
Whoops.
But you know
Adrian
what?
Moss.
He spent so much time up here, I guess, maybe he's trying to get his Canadianship. I don't know.
Sorry, that wasn't Flynn. Yes, it was. That's another name I was thinking of from another year. Pardon me.
No worries. It's first night, man.
Yeah, we're having some. We were talking about doing our off-season conditioning, me and Mitch, and obviously we're a little lax here. Having fun up in the booth.
Speak for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah,
Kobe is suited and booted, ready to do this.
As Mitch flexes his muscles. Speak for yourself.
Brett held it down for me when the broadcast started. I had to give him the old nudge.
There you
I
go.
got lost in translation.
Help me.
There you go.
All right, we got
He's a
that.
great partner.
We got a little bit of a time issue mixed up at the scorer's desk. Bodiford will be the trigger man when the play enters back in.
Nice to see
we do that.
Nice to see Rick Waterford back on the court again. He had the knee injury last season.
Always good to see guys bouncing back. Oh, it took a tumble after that shot. Can't get it to fall. No call. Windsor Express basketball.
Orangeville 1 for 7 from three-point land. So not the deep ball not really working for them so far, but we know that can change real quick.
Well, they put up a lot of them, so you got to figure that it'll work in their favor sooner or later.
Chris Commons pops up the rebound. Flynn Whitfield with the leading it up in transition. Bodiford can't score in tight.
Wow.
3 chances in close. And the 4th, 5th finally goes
Talk
for
about
Bodiford.
hustle at the rim.
It's all effort right there.
5 chances at the can.
That's who wanted it more. That's what it came down to.
Moss swings it back out and Bolden out on the perimeter. Looking to take Bilal off the dribble. Spins his back to him. Looking to go on the low post. Turns, shoots, scores.
Mo Bolden.
That's a big boy move right there.
When you need some points, all you ask is you need Mo Bolden. 2 points in his new home with the Windsor Express. Nice. Oh,
Look good. Eric Copes.
Copes can't get it to fall. First overall pick in the draft this year.
And there's Chris Commons with the outlet pass.
Adrian Moss stops, spins out. Kirk Williams Jr. at the free throw line. 3 passes later, Mo Bolden in the corner. Puts a jab set, then he'll put his back to Bodiford. Working towards the baseline. Going towards
5 seconds. The 5-second rule.
Yep.
There you go. Put in effect. Can't be backing down for more than 5 seconds or it is a turnover.
Yep. The Express a lot more scrappier now in this game. We've seen him start to pick up the intensity in the second Q, and they've carried it over here to the third. That's translated to the scoreboard. Now they're up by 1 point. Much different team than we've seen in the first quarter.
Now, timeout call by the Express. They lead 59-58 early in the third quarter in what has been a fantastic opening game of the 2015-2016 season. Audley Stevenson joining us in the booth.
Hey, we got a final in London. London Lightning take 122-109 win over the River Lions.
Nice.
They're back at it tomorrow night in Niagara. I'm going to be in the house down there, so that'll be exciting.
Exciting scenario going into their home opener for their inaugural season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be good.
It's a phenomenal facility, too, the Meridian Center in St. Catharines.
Beautiful. I had an opportunity to go down there a couple times, and I fall in love with the building.
Should be interesting to see. Me, perhaps I'll be trying to go down there throughout some time this season. Do some recon.
There you go.
Check out their media booth, see what it's all about.
Get some scouting. Tell Coach Jones you can do some scouting for him.
Yes.
But this has been a great night so far, guys. I'm really excited and happy for what we've seen, and there's just so much more. And it's been said again many times. It's gonna be a great year, but this is definitely we're on the verge of something great this season, guys.
Absolutely,
season
year 5.
Number 5, man.
Year
That's
number 5.
how we do it.
And I just thinks makes me think about it was yesterday that we announced that the franchise, the Windsor Express, were going to come into the league, and when I was brought in as
I remember.
One of those first games.
I remember.
All those fun times.
I remember it well.
And the remaining set piece, me and that guy right there. So it's right there.
It was a long time ago.
It was.
The dark times of the Orange Sphere, the worshippers of the Orange Sphere. For all those addicted to drama.
That's it.
Welcome back.
We're here.
To the temple of basketball.
It's like we never left.
That's right.
For all of those
big shout to the fans on the NBL scene.
I remember when I first told people that I was going to be doing this gig, they were mad at me because I was going to be taking mic time away from Alejandro.
He had a small cult following of loyal fans. I heard it in the underground around the city of Windsor. It's a true story, man.
Justin Moss going to the rack. No
aggressive.
call. Blocked. Mo Bolden. Adrian Moss puts it around. It's showtime!
Give the people what they want.
Williams Jr.
Give the people what they want, ladies and gentlemen.
And that all started with a huge defensive play at the rim, stuffing Moss.
And then a turnover on the ensuing inbound.
Defense to offense, ladies and gentlemen.
What a dime from Adrian Moss to Kirk Williams Jr. for the highlight reel alley-oop slam. You might see that one later on Instagram, folks.
Yeah, the Express sort of taking their weapons away at the rim right down there on the block, and we've seen Moss unable to get a shot off, and that's really what started that thing. Like you said, Audley, great defense translate into great offense.
And that's exactly what it is. You see Moss going in the background. We're not sure what happened to him there. Looks like something on that loose ball. He dove for the floor, and I didn't see after that. But quickly, the training staff took him back in the locker room. So Moss is all right.
Might be.
Tough. He's a little tough guy, I tell you.
We don't want to provide any speculation, so we're just gonna let that go. Seem to be a hand injury. Maurice Bolden swings it across 2 passes later. Chris Commons facing up, hands it off to the rookie Shaquille Keith. To his right, big swing pass over to Bolden, long 2, not gonna go.
Around.
Shaquille Keith there to try and grab that rebound, but it's Lewis Jackson going to the rack. Woo! Reverse layup. Woo! Mr. Jackson, I am for real.
That's a little way to take the momentum back for the Orangeville A's.
Shaquille Keith for 3.
Okay.
Shaquille Keith also has 4 assists in this game. He's doing quite a bit for the Windsor Express. Real versatile guy.
A couple of rebounds too, and he's touching all areas of the game here in his first professional regular season contest. Shaquille Keith out of Kilgore College in East Texas. And a little bit of extracurriculars.
Adrian Moss comes back. He almost checks himself into the game.
Right away.
That's what he did.
I apologize. 7 points, 4 boards for Shaquille Keith, but doing it all over the place nevertheless.
And Adrian Moss comes right back in.
Let's be clear. Adrian Moss checked himself into the game, ladies and gentlemen.
He goes
came
right back.
right from the locker room. He looked at coach and said, "I'm in."
But I'll tell you who does have 4 assists, and that is Chris Commons, to go along with 17 big points. Big line thus far for Chris C.
That's why we have you up here, Mitch. Take care of business.
That's right. Hardest working crew in the NBL.
Woo!
Mr. Lewis. That was a phenomenal move. Unfortunately, did not fall. Adrian Moss in transition. Blocked by Justin Moss. Mo Bolden kicking it out to Commons for 3.
Step back.
Bingo.
With the step back.
Step back jumper for 3.
Absolutely filthy. Chris Commons with 20 big points.
I could just imagine what Chris Commons is saying down there right now.
His 3rd triple of the contest. Justin Moss. Oh, it almost fell out after the slam dunk.
And what a game this is shaped up to be, folks.
Oh, nice seal from Shaquille Keith there.
Good find.
That long pass, he corralled it, took the bump, and he's going to the free throw line. Windsor up 67-62. We wasn't even looking at the score for a while.
What a great third quarter, guys.
Yeah,
great third quarter.
One of the numbers that's worth mentioning here for the Express is that both teams have 13 team assists collectively. That margin was quite big through the first quarter. Windsor had 2 for quite some time. So both teams passing the basketball effectively, getting everybody involved.
Absolutely. Timeout taken by the Orangeville A's midway through the third quarter on Knockstrom.tv. I'd like to thank all of our fans on YouTube and of course on our live stream channel. The season opener of the 2015-2016 season. Audley, tell us a little bit of some of the things that you're looking forward to seeing this season.
Well, the continued growth and improvement of the league has just been phenomenal. As everyone knows, I call him Coach, but Commissioner Magley is working hard as ever, and his interest is really establishing some baseline levels of how this league will operate and some standards and whatnot, and he's been slowly making his mark and taking care of those things. Now it comes down to them actually following through. We know what's going to happen on the court. Tonight is evidence of the type of talent and action fans are going to see. We're not concerned about that. It's stuff that happens off the court and how the league conducts itself. That's where the key and focus will be, and that's where the successes are really going to be about. So we focus our energies on those areas, and we look to improve and get better.
And of course, you guys launched the NBL community as well initiative, and you saw that with multiple videos across the league of helping people across multiple demographics during the holidays.
The reality is, NBL community is although it's a new initiative, it's really providing a vehicle for the league to tell the great stories that are already happening. The stuff that NBL community is doing isn't creating anything new. It's not developing stuff that we've never seen before. What we're now doing is highlighting and putting that in the forefront for people.
Absolutely.
I had seen some of the Windsor Express players down at the downtown Mission.
That's right.
And you know what? Those guys were absolutely in the moment. They were enjoying giving back and being a part of. So it just works all around for everybody when people are giving back.
Shaquille Keith knocking out a pair of free throws, extending Windsor's lead to 7 points. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and what has been a game of runs, to say the least. Orangeville holding a 15-point lead earlier, but Windsor coming back to tie it up at the half. Rick Bodiford, his runner, does not go. He gets his own rebound. Amarty with the jumper, can't get it to fall. Bodiford get it back from Moss, and one. Orangeville basketball.
Two big saves.
Justin Moss is an absolute beast on the boards.
Bodiford, went down hard on that one. But yeah, you said Justin Moss. What a phenomenal piece.
He kept that alive. He kept that possession going. His activity on the boards, forcing the action. Incredible performance.
Great ball hawk skills there to be able to read where that play was going to end up.
Well, there's just some players that got a nose for the ball.
That's
and wherever the ball ends up, they're going to be in it somehow, some way. That's what you're seeing from Justin Moss tonight.
7 for 9 from the field, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and a dime.
Mm-hmm. And little bit of a highlight from Niagara's first game. There's a pretty big performance from one player, correct, Audley, if I'm reading the stats correctly?
29 and 12. I think that would qualify as a monster performance.
In the franchise's first game, to say the least.
Well, you know, from what I saw, and I didn't get to see the entire game. I was sort of keeping my eye on 3 games at once. But certainly, the River Lions didn't make it easy for London. London had to put in that effort for sure.
Big effort from Logan Stutz, or is that Stutz?
Stutz. We'll call him Stutz, and if we got it wrong, someone will let us know. But
we'll hear about it.
We'll go with
Someone
Stutz.
will let us know.
I
like it.
The vocal NBO Canada fan base.
We love him. Keep it coming, folks.
Shaquille Keith for 3. It circles the drain and falls.
He's
3
feeling
more
it.
points. Absolutely. He's getting comfortable in his first professional game.
15 points, 4 boards.
And a 7-point Windsor Express lead.
Richard Marty. He answers back.
Beautiful. Beautiful 3-point basket made by Marty.
And it was his first. He was 0 for 4, but stayed with the shot. Hits an important triple.
When you're a shooter and a scorer, you shouldn't have a conscience. Just go out there and do your business. Handle your business.
That's it.
Moss.
Speaking of which,
Flenn Whitfield with the rebound. Amarty stepping into it again. Moss.
Loses that on the glass.
Justin Moss again. Rick Boterford's in there.
Ooh.
That's just effort, guys. That's just effort.
That's all it is.
Just effort.
And that's where the Express have to lock it down. If they're going to lose this game, it's going to be on those 50-50 balls and in the painted area, not working for boards.
Ooh, and a moving screen called at the top of the key. Kirk Williams Jr. going to be called on that one. Giving a little bit of stank eye after that. I don't know about that. But Chris Commons coming into the game now for Kirk. Raheem Singleton entering the game now. 37 seconds. Don't want anybody to pick up a cheap foul.
No.
Heading into the 4th.
Commons, the game's leading scorer with 20 points, 3 triples, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line.
That's right, the NBL Canada vet.
Doing what he does.
Winning championships.
What a pass.
Nice.
Beautiful ball movement.
Wrong. He was flexing on him like Superman after that bank shot.
Shot clock is turned off. 15 to go in the quarter. 72-72. Windsor trying to get the final shot.
10 tips.
Singleton inside the 3-point line. Jamal McQueen rising, shooting, scoring.
Knockdown J, baby.
University of Windsor Lancer.
Jamal with the Jimmy.
And what a way to close the quarter for the Windsor Express, up by 2.
Listen, guys, let's bear in mind the halftime score was 42-42.
Yep.
And we are now a 2-point differential. Look, it's just phenomenal.
With a 30-point outburst by each team to put the boot. Yeah, that's one heck of a quarter.
I'm going wow.
Well, both teams are playing really well. Orangeville came strong out of the gate. The Express not so much, but they found themselves since, certainly from the second quarter on. Both teams playing really, really well, putting together a fantastic brand of basketball through 3 quarters here on opening night at the WFCU Center.
And if these teams got to play a number more times this season, it's this close after the first 3 quarters. This sets up for phenomenal storylines going down the road.
Batten your hatches, folks. We're just getting started. Season number 5 NBL Canada action. Can't wait.
That's right. No nights off here for the NBL Canada. Now, the later start for the year, obviously December 26th, the Windsor Express taking advantage, and other teams taking advantage of some NBA D-League cuts as well. We saw the London other teams picking up some NBL D-League guys, and of course, other guys choosing to stay here because of the later start as well. So it's interesting to say the least. It's always fun. And some big and better things coming for the league, as always.
We like I said, the later start, once you get past that, it's basketball, guys.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's just basketball, and that's what we're seeing.
Can you give us an update, or fans an update at all? Do we know anything about when Tony Bennett is eligible for a return? We do know he's in street clothes, so I thought, we maybe could ask.
I just had a word with him before I came up here, and he told me January 1 he's eligible to play.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
I believe there's a game here on the 2nd, if I recall, January 2nd.
Yep.
I would expect to see him suiting up.
So if you're an Express fan, you now get to look at a backcourt rotation of potentially Adrian Moss, Raheem Singleton, Tony Bennett. So now you're talking about dangerous depth in the backcourt for the Windsor Express.
And you're talking about 3 potential guards that not only are great point guards, but great scoring guards.
Yeah.
That's a 3-headed dragon right there.
Yep. Well, thank you for providing us some clarity on the situation, Audley. Always appreciate it.
Hey, that's what I do, man. Do what we can. Look, guys, I appreciate you making room for me in the booth, but I'm going to take my perch down the court side and taking this action. Thanks, y'all,
Thank you.
And, hey, looking forward to this all season long, guys.
Looking forward to it, my friend. We'll talk soon, and that's Audley Stevenson from the NBL Canada providing his thoughts on the growth of the league and, of course, their phenomenal players in our community that we've built. Chris Commons drawing getting called for a foul. Nope. Was that 3? Sorry, 23. I think they're going to call that on Shane Ross. Wow, I was wrong again. Jamal McQueen, sorry, number 13, getting called for the foul on the reach. Orangeville with possession. Opening minute of the 4th quarter. Windsor up 74-72. Ooh, ball is stripped, but a foul is going to be called. Flenn Whitfield, the victim.
The Orangeville A's 8 for 14 from free throw line, so 57% collectively. The Express 14 for 18, 77%. When you have a close game like this, these free throws become ever so important.
Yep, at this point of the game, we always talk about free throws and turnovers, how crucial they can be. And Flenn Whitfield knocks down the first free throw.
Speaking of turnovers, we'll just get that stat in here real quick. 13 for the Orangeville A's and 6 for the Express. So Windsor doing a great job protecting the basketball.
Raheem Singleton with the basketball now after Flenn Whitfield's 2 free throws tied this game up at 74. Oh, Justin Moss trying to play that passing lane. Now taking advantage of the turnover. Traveling violation going to be called. The official originally signaled a charge, but corrected himself to make that a traveling call.
That was interesting because Moss took a bite, tried to launch forward to steal that basketball, but ended up in the right place. Just couldn't find his footing near the Windsor net.
All square at 74 here, early in the 4th quarter. Got some Justin Timberlake on the stereo, courtesy of DJ Thor, and that's a phenomenal DJ. Shane Ross takes a nice feed from Singleton and scores in tight.
And nobody home for the Orangeville A's. Shane Ross with the easy 2.
I'm already at the free throw line, or 3-point line. Step backs and shoots off the front rim. Whitfield with the rebound. And Rick Bodiford taking control again. I believe there is an issue with the shot clock. And that is why the possession has been stalled. And what a way to start the 4th quarter of a very tight NBL Canada game on opening day here for the 2015-2016 season.
Bring you some quick scoring updates for the Orangeville A's fans out there. Lewis Jackson, 14 points. Rick Bodiford, 8 points. Justin Moss with 16, and then Flernard Whitfield with 11. So we're getting some nice production out of the Orangeville A's.
Yeah. A little bit of a slow start for the Express, but almost the exact opposites of first and second quarters from each squad.
Indeed, there's been a bit of a flip-flop, but Orangeville obviously sticking around. Windsor with just a 2-point lead. Both teams playing great so far this 4th quarter.
Absolutely. Making amazing happen only here at the NBL Canada. Bilal Ben, spin, shoots off the glass, no good. Off of him last. Windsor Express basketball, and Chris Commons is down on the ground.
Ben stopped on a dime there, able to create some space, just a little strong.
Yeah, nice pivot. Well, yeah, he stopped on a dime there. Put a nice pivot, just a little bit, faded a little bit too much on the shot. What a phenomenal day it's been.
I couldn't pick anywhere else in the world I'd rather be than right here next to you, Brett.
Oh my goodness, that is so cute. Oh, Singleton couldn't find McQueen on the backdoor cut. Looking for a little bit of highlight. A little bit behind him on the pass. But can't knock the effort.
And Shaquille Keith, 5 for 8, 15 big points. You were not kidding about him, Brett, when you talked about the impact he was going to make on this squad.
I like to think I know what I'm talking
You do.
about.
I'm going to give you some daps and props there all year long. You
gonna
called
dap?
it, buddy.
Ooh, shot from Bodiford, no good. But the man who's inside and scoring, Justin Moss.
The beast from the east.
That's right.
That's his new nick. Label it, folks.
Label it, stamp it, send it to him.
He's been awesome. 5 boards, 18 points. Justin Moss, straight beast in the post. He's going to make a real impact this season down there for the Orangeville A's.
Like
and not only the Orangeville A's, but the NBL Canada.
Absolutely.
He's going to be a premier player in the post. I can guarantee it.
I'd like to welcome our viewers that are joining us from games that have previously finished. Currently got a big contest going on between the Windsor Express and the Orangeville A's. Of course, the London Lightning 122 to 109 winners, I believe, over the Niagara River Lions. Wow. A little bit of a forearm shiver from Raheem Singleton on that play. Called immediately, and it's going to go the other way. No more discussion needed. Tony Jones is raising his hands up at the officials, but with 9.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, it's all about the next play.
It's turning into a chess match. This game is so closely contested now that neither team can afford to give up an inch.
Yeah, usually we'd say like to put it shortly, we go, hey, first team to 100 points. Usually's got the best chance to win, but we don't know. It could be 101 to 100 game today.
I thought you were going to say free Frosties. That's the first thing I thought. Even though I never got one.
I never got a free Frosty. Oh, having fun though. We'll go for Frosties after the game, young man. You and me.
Right.
Moss swing through. Beautiful job. Glenn Whitfield gets the rebound. Puts it up. Short. Commons with the rebound. Whitfield behind the play a little bit. Nice closing speed to gain some ground on Shaquille Keith. Good job. Good hustle being showed by both sides. I can't say enough.
And this is a great quarter. This is a closely contested basketball from two great teams.
Shaq for three. It's good. All the way from Brampton, Ontario, Shaquille Keith.
That guy's special. I can tell you right now. If you're a Windsor Express fan, you better be pleased he's on your line. He's in the lineup.
And then a nice.
Speaking of.
Wow, Shaquille Keith once again. Creative move off the glass to extend the lead, 81-78.
And Lewis Jackson with 16 points for the Orangeville A's.
Off the bounce, below Ben, blocked by Jamal McQueen. Wow, Rick Bodiford worked his way through the phone booth there. Got the ball around some defenders and drew a foul, and he's going to the free throw line. Great job. Great compete level on both ends of the floor. Shaquille Keith coming off with a great move off the glass, and then Rick Bodiford matching the young rookie's step with one of his own.
And Orangeville shooting much better now from the charity stripe. That one rims out, but they're 10 of 17. They're just over 60%, but much better than the way the game started, Brett.
Absolutely. Bodiford lining up the second free throw, looking to make it an even 2-point deficit. He misses the second. 2 missed free throws from Bodiford.
And you check, at the end of the game, is that going to be a crucial factor? We'll have to see.
We'll see. Adrian Moss backing it out, going one-on-one. Chris Commons spins in the lane.
And that's what you want to see out of Chris Commons, is that beautiful work down there on the block with the spin move. Easy money, baby.
Absolutely. Chris Commons. Justin Moss, fake shot, rises, takes the shot. Shaquille Keith with the rebound. Cutting up the middle of the floor. What a burst of speed.
Shaquille Keith, what's up now? Some good sportsmanship there as they get back to their feet.
Yep. Yep. Good at a lot of high quality athletes going on it right there. They're just moving at a high pace.
And right back, it's Lewis Jackson.
Yep. He waited for his guys to get back in the floor a little bit.
He's done that a
Moss,
few times.
wow.
Splash, Adrian Moss.
We don't even have time to talk in between.
I can't even get you guys the correct numbers because the transition play is so flawless that they're also converting on each single time down the floor.
And the Orangeville A's quietly call timeout now. We'll try and slow it down a little bit, to say the least. And
what a push by Orangeville, but it's a 7-point lead for the Express. Unbelievable action here in the fourth Q at the home opener.
That's right. A lot of great fans a lot of great fans here today. For the
including
Windsor
my
Express
mother,
game.
who's going absolutely mental over top of the Windsor Express bench. She's having a good time.
I'm sure my mother's screaming at the screen too. Whole lot of fun going on here tonight. Nice crowd here at the WFCU Center. And of course, we saw a nice crowd for the NBA D-League game as well back in mid-November. So no surprise to see a nice crowd here tonight.
And I would like to thank the Windsor Express for allowing my parents to come out for the game today, the home opener. They're thoroughly enjoying themselves. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. My parents have been on a couple of occasions, and they really enjoy the ambiance, and they're both sports people, so they appreciate a professional franchise in their own backyard.
My mom was big on netball in England. She was 5'3", dominated the netball court, so she enjoys her Windsor Express basketball.
Absolutely. There's so many great fans as well that make this league phenomenal. We've got, of course, the super fans, Shannon.
It's Brett.
Yeah.
Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince. They're going to have her show after the game.
Post-game show.
Yes, because what happened at halftime, we have some issues with the wireless mics.
Okay.
So they will repeat. Hope this time is going to be good.
Okay. We will have a post-game show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince. After, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had during the pre-show and half-time. So we will bring that to you promptly after me and Kobe quickly wrap up at the end of the game. Make sure that you're back here January 2nd for our next home game against the Niagara River Lions here at the WFCU Center, which will be a phenomenal day. It'll be exciting to see the new franchise Niagara come into town, Kobe.
Oh, for sure. It'll be a monumental time. Little shift in paradigm here. Field goal percentage, Orangeville now with 48%, still very good. Windsor up to almost 56% from the field.
Yep. A little bit of a slow start, but of course we knew that we've seen before it building throughout the game, and of course they battled back.
Yeah, they look like completely different squads between the first and second quarter. But I'll tell you who's not going away, and that is the Orangeville A's.
Leonard Whitfield with another 3-point basket. The Detroit, Michigan native knows this area well.
Sticking with it.
If I looked out of a window of the WFCU, I could probably see Detroit. So there's no secret that Flenfield's a little bit comfortable in this area. Foul off the ball will give Windsor possession at the foul line extended mark. 6:32 remaining in the fourth quarter. And it is just heating up here. Moss.
On the lean.
Shane Ross going in after the rebound, but it was Justin Moss for the Orangeville A grabbing another one. He's having himself a phenomenal game. So is Lewis Jackson.
And able to just pull it, stop, back up the finger roll. Beautiful.
Oh, exciting to see. Don't call it a comeback. LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Oh, a push from behind. Shaquille Keith getting one.
Just going back to Lewis Jackson real quick for a moment here for all you Orangeville A's fans. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 dimes. He is 8 for 11 from the field. He has scored a big basket each time this game starts to not get out of reach, but anytime the momentum starts to go towards Windsor's favor, he comes bursting down and attacks the rim, and he's able to convert. So he's doing a heck of a job keeping Orangeville in this game.
Absolutely, yeah. They're answering every shot that Windsor has given them, and it's the exact same story on the other boot. Jamal McQueen on the far side of the floor, backing down. Lewis goes off the side of the glass. Justin Moss with the rebound, and here come the A's with a chance to tie the game or take a lead with a 3. Flenn Whitfield, no good. Shane Ross the rebound. Adrian Moss in transition. Shaquille Keith to the rack, and it's good.
And Shane Ross didn't take a good shot on the offensive end, but then worked hard to come up with that rebound that started it all for the Express.
Lewis Jackson at the helm. Inside to Flenn Whitfield, facing up on Commons, leaves it just a little bit to the side. In transition, here come the Express. Moss, McQueen, over to Commons, through his legs. He loses it. Flenn Whitfield the other way. Adrian Moss smartly gives up a foul in transition, not to give up a basket.
And stop the momentum from changing hands. So smart play by the veteran there. You see Orangeville sort of now settling for outside shots that are being contested, whereas before they were creating things offensively, easy looks, high percentage baskets.
And conversely, we're seeing the Express go inside more, is where they struggled early on in the game. So you never know what's going to happen throughout the course of a 48-minute basketball game.
And it's a good point, Brett. The Express now with 44 points in the paint.
Wow. Shane Ross knocking away that pass from Justin Moss. So we've got 2 Mosses, 1 Ross, and they're all bosses.
That they're all bosses.
That's right.
Shane Ross with the active hands. I like that play just simply because he didn't allow the entry pass into the post to Moss, who's wreaking havoc down there.
Absolutely, to say the least. Oh, faked out of his shoes. Amarty with a 3, can't get it to fall. Shaquille Keith with the rebound. Oh, nearly losing it.
Oh,
what a play to keep it in bound.
It's loose.
Wow.
Effort all across the board here, and it will be Orangeville ball, I believe.
What a series of plays.
But all heart and hustle by both sides.
That's right. 4:38 to go. Windsor up 4 points, 89-85 in what has been a fun basketball game, to say the least.
Remarkable start. Both teams playing their hearts out here at the home opener, the beautiful WFCU Center in Windsor, Ontario. What more could you ask for? I absolutely love this league. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be back in this booth.
Always a pleasure being here as a part of Knockstrom.tv. We'd like to thank you for joining us on YouTube and on Knockstrom.tv for the live stream. Make sure to catch the post-game show, ladies and gentlemen, with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince, recapping all that happened in the day of NBL Canada.
Oh, Moss just took someone down. Freight train running
and Justin Moss is going to be called for a loose ball foul afterward, but there's bodies on the floor.
I'm really impressed with Justin Moss right out of the gate. I got to tell you, it's going to be exciting to watch him play this year. But I'll tell you who else has impressed me out of the gate, and that is the Express's now leading scorer in Shaquille Keith. 24 points for your man.
And we noted, we said earlier, is like in the first quarter, we noticed that he was having a little bit of trouble adjusting. But once we saw that first basket go, it's been steady contribution ever since.
7 boards, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. You know, if you're going to have a new forward on your squad, and you need somebody to lead, this is the skill set that you're going to want, and that is everything Shaquille Keith is bringing to the court.
30 seconds remaining in the timeout called by the Express after the Justin Moss foul. And a whole... we could keep talking about the level of parity in this game, but it would be a tired subject. But I just have to say the compete level I've seen on each side has just been phenomenal. It's been a while since we've been in this booth, of course, with a regular season or a playoff game, but it was not missed in vain, put it that way. We're definitely glad to be here, and we are excited that the NBL Canada is back with a full 40-game regular season, which will end in late April. And we're hoping to be playing basketball and broadcasting basketball late into the early summer. So, should be fun.
If I had it my way, it would be year-round, Brett.
Yes, absolutely.
No breaks.
No breaks. And
but that's not realistic.
No.
It's bittersweet when the year ends, to say the least.
Absolutely. But then me and you get to hang out in flip-flops and socks and sandals and whatever it is that we do. So, whatever we do when it's not basketball season. So, The Olympics are coming up this year. That's what we can do in the summer.
You and I?
Yeah, the Rio Games.
Don't make me break out my old shoes, my old Jordans from grade 8.
Chris Commons.
I led the St. Christopher Eagles to the
St.
2-10 record.
I'll tell you about my days with the Harrow Hornets, our green and gold jerseys back in the day. I was a deftly three-point shooter back when there was no three-point line. Ooh! Richard Amarty with a throwdown slam on the rebound. Makes it a 2-point game. Playing above the rim.
That's where Windsor has to have a body. They can't allow any easy buckets down there from the A's.
Oh, pass from Commons is stolen.
Costly turnover, and it's out. Big miss.
Woo!
Breathe a sigh of relief for the Express. That would have been translated into a 4-point lead. Or sorry, a tie game for the A's.
Fans, that's why we always try and use the backboard. But Raheem Singleton,
shot.
4-point swing.
Big boy basket right there at an important time in this game.
Yep. Tough to see.
He's been a little quiet, but he's also had 5 assists, so the helper's looking good for Raheem.
Amarty looking to respond for his team. Jackson at the 3-point line. Off the mark.
He had all kinds of time, too. It was a good look.
Shaquille Keith behind the back. Spin move. Stripped by Amarty. And here comes Justin Moss.
Boom!
Throwing it down and making it a 2-point game.
With authority, Justin Moss, 20 points, now 9 rebounds. Some big boy numbers.
And Amarty making up for his missed layup by creating the steal opportunity in the easy basket for the Orangeville A's. So good for him. Shaquille Keith, top of the key to Bolden. Shane Ross, the boss. At the top of the key, Chris Commons. Reverse finish inside.
In the right place at the right time.
The veteran.
Big bucket. Big bucket for Chris Commons. And we talked about his big playability before this game kicked off. And you know, when they need a big defensive stop, a big basket, a big pass, whatever it may be, they can look to him. You know, he's showing that this leadership is for real, year in and year out.
Absolutely, and I spoke to him prior to season opener, actually at their exhibition game at St. Clair College 2 weeks ago, and he said, "I am more than excited to be back to lead this group of with so much young talent," he said. So. And he's showing it.
That's cash money right there.
Flynn Whitfield with the 3-point basket.
And his third of the contest coming at a crucial time.
1-point game, under 2 minutes to go. And this is what we signed up for. Every possession counts now.
$1:30 remains.
Singleton to Kirk to Commons.
Bingo! Woo! Money man, Chris Commons.
96-92 the score, 1:20 remaining in the frame.
Once again, Chris Commons shines in the crucial moments of this game.
Oh, and Justin Moss couldn't finish the dunk in close. Bodiford's got the rebound. He scores at the rim, and he makes it a 2-point game.
And what an adjustment in the air there from Bodiford.
96-94. Raheem Singleton slowing it up, handing it off to Maurice Bolden. I gotta like the 5 that I've got on the court if you're the Windsor Express. Under a minute to go, 50 seconds to be exact.
The A's need a defensive stop here.
Adrian Moss at the perimeter. Stop, gets the defender in the air, puts up a floater. It circles the drain, doesn't go down. 2-point game, 38 to go. Lewis Jackson hands it off to Flynn Whitfield. Jackson back to Moss. Moss lets a cutter go through. He faces up on Kirk. Spins, and a foul is called on the floor.
So an important and crucial time for Moss to get to the line. Has a chance to tie this thing, Brett, at 96 with just 28 ticks left in the fourth Q.
Yeah, and it's a precarious position because it's 28 seconds left. The shot clock is going to be on regardless of how long the Express the Express don't have as much time as they want to come down and shoot the basketball afterward.
And Moss is 0 for 1 from the line tonight, so
we'll see how it goes. Oh,
big miss there.
Oh,
man, that's had a heck of a game.
Yeah. Missed free throw. No Price is Right music, unless I just didn't hear it.
No, it wasn't there. And he cashes in on the second. So a 1 point differential on the scoreboard, but let's see what's happening here.
We'll see. Yeah, there seemed to be a little bit of distraction before the free throw, the second free throw. The first one was missed. So it seemed, Moss made the second one, but the whistle had blown prior to the throw. So he's got one more to go, 2-point game. He knocks it down, makes it a 1-point game, 28 seconds to go. Windsor calls timeout. Tony Jones will advance the ball from the baseline to the front court with the timeout call, because it's under 2 minutes, I believe, is the time frame. And a smart move from Coach Jones to get the ball from underneath his basket.
Definitely, they want to choose some time off this clock as much as possible.
28 seconds will remain in regulation once we come back out of the timeout. Windsor has 24 seconds on the shot clock to drain off before they have to shoot it. So, regardless if there's a long rebound or there's, it really all depends. It really all depends on the Orangeville A's defense when they come out of this break.
Yeah, with the one free throw and now Orangeville only being down by 1, if they do get a chance to come back and get the basketball, let's say they get another shot off, they have a chance to win.
Yeah,
off a 2-point basket.
96-95.
So it isn't a terrible spot for Orangeville to be in, but they have to get a defensive stop.
Yep. The buzzer has sounded. The first buzzer, I should say. Each team is slowly getting up and doing their coming out on the court.
So we'll have to see the defensive matchups coming into the last 28 seconds.
Singleton, Bolden, Commons, Moss, Williams Jr. Justin Moss, Flen Whitfield, Rick Bodiford, Bilal Ben, and Lewis Jackson for the A's.
Yeah, interesting. Moss, not the tallest guy, but a good defender, and he's got a motor on him. And if they're looking to score a shot, he could be a guy that could finish this thing off.
Singleton receives the inbound pass. 20 seconds on the shot, 24 in the game clock. Good defense from the A's. Gets Maurice Bolden to pick up his dribble. Raheem Singleton draws a foul on the double team from Lewis Jackson and Rick Bodiford.
Great defense there by the Orangeville A's.
I agree.
Defending up top in that perimeter. They great hands-up play.
That's,
They elected to,
kind of a bailout call, to be honest.
To utilize the double team, but they stopped the Windsor Express's attack, and whatever was drawn up in that playbook will now reset.
And because, now this is interesting, because now that there was a foul inside their territory, the shot clock resets to 14 seconds. So there's only a 1 second differential now. That's a big foul call.
Absolutely, because now the game will end even if Windsor misses. I mean, give or take a second or two, but all they've got to do is suck time off the clock, which means we might see a foul.
Yep. So Tony Jones calls timeout from his team again, probably going to collect his team and give them the mindset what they've got to go to. They should expect a foul right off the inbound. I'm not sure what the total foul is for each team right now, but it is going to be fantastic. And in what's going to be even more fantastic than this finish, Alex, is the post-game show that's happening on Knockstrom.tv with Justin Prince and Aaron Sanders. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, as always, going to be an incredible show by Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince.
That's right.
And this is 14 seconds, eternal 14 seconds, and you know
That's
what
right.
those mean. This is for all those
Here we go.
and adrenaline junkies. This is what you were waiting for.
Oh, yeah, delivering.
Alex, are you more nervous now than the first game that you ever did this, or are you just as nervous now as you were then?
Whenever you have 14 seconds to go, 1 second possession, and this is only 1 point differential, and the scoreboard is beyond.
And you were talking.
Any adrenaline junkie can never wish.
You were talking about some fouls, Brett. It appears the Windsor Express have 25 team fouls to the Orangeville A's 21.
Okay, so we're going to expect the foul, and that's what we get. Chris Commons
And
draws the foul on Whitfield.
and that's a guy you definitely want on the line if you're the Windsor Express. He is 3 for 4 thus far in this game, but it looks like there was another foul to give.
Yeah, at least one more foul to give. So Mo Bolden, the trigger man, 13 seconds on the clock. Raheem Singleton looking to get freed up. Shane Ross gets the inbound. Playing keep away now. Adrian Moss with the basketball. Rick Bodiford has the foul. So good job by the Express to keep the ball away from the A's. They burned 4 seconds off the clock.
They put arguably maybe their best free throw shooter on the line in Adrian Moss. He's 3 for 4 tonight.
Adrian Moss.
But still some time left. If he
A lifetime.
splits the pair and he misses the
Ooh,
first,
he
and
misses.
now things get interesting. Now things get interesting, folks.
Yeah. 9 seconds to go. Almost better to miss it intentionally and try and get the rebound. He
trades it.
rattles it home. So now you're expecting the
ensuing
timeout from
timeout.
Orangeville.
Now, the Orangeville A's have not had a tremendous amount of success shooting outside tonight. So this is
True.
going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, they had the loss of Zane Johnson in the offseason, who was as automatic a three-point shooter as we've had in the NBL
Or
Canada.
off the slash, he's a guy that could just knock him down.
So, and we haven't, like you said, we haven't seen anybody else really than Flynard Whitfield take a three-point shot.
Yeah.
So
even some some 15-foot 2-point basket stuff like that. We haven't seen anybody swing cut off the wing and just pop from the elbow. Not too much. There's been obviously some jump shots, but can they get the ball into the post or attack the rack after the inbound with only 9 seconds left?
yeah, that's the tough part. Windsor's going to try and pack the paint for sure. But the A's don't need to go for the win. They can go for the 2-point basket.
Yes, of
And this
course.
is a situation where you might see the Windsor Express foul now, right off the bat. Try and disrupt their timing a little bit.
Well, that's an interesting concept and ideology because they're 11 for 20 from the free throw line, Brett. So they're shooting 55% collectively as a team. So if they split the pair, if that was to happen, the game's basically over. So interesting.
So many scenarios
It's like a game of chess,
within the timeouts.
searching for Brett Hedges.
That's right. Searching for Bobby Fischer.
I'm glad you picked that up because if people didn't know, they'd be like, what's this guy talking about?
Okay, inbound. Chris Commons has the ball. Sorry, as the defender. Justin Moss facing up. He's only got 5 seconds. Dishes it out. Bilal Bain knocks it down.
Struggled from the field from the three-point line throughout this game and makes the shot that counts.
It seems as though that Windsor doesn't have a three-point.
Unreal, folks. And it's a heave.
And they did. And that is how the game ends, folks. A huge three-point shot from Bilal Ben. With 2 seconds remaining, gives the Orangeville A's a 98-97 win.
That was the only three-point attempt Ben made all game long. When I said they struggled from deep, I was talking about the team 5 of 17 from downtown, and they make the one that counts.
That's right. Oh my goodness. What an exciting day here at the WFCU Center. Congrats to the Orangeville A's on a phenomenal victory. And the Windsor Express will look to battle back when they go to London on the 28th. Or sorry, the 29th for a battle against the London Lightning.
There were no major malfunctions and mistakes in the closing moments. Orangeville just made the impossible shot. There's nothing Windsor could do. Both teams played great. Individual performances from guys like Chris Commons, Shaquille Keith, and of course Adrian Moss were fantastic. We've seen the Orangeville A's get great production from Rick Waterford, 10 points. Lewis Jackson, 23 points. And then, of course, the guy we talked about all game long, Justin Moss, 19 and 9. And then Flernard Whitfield with 16. And you can't forget about Bilal Ben. He scored 7 points, but he hit the game winner. So just fantastic work by both teams that shot 50% for the field from Orangeville and 54% from Windsor. So a great game regardless.
Anything else you'd like to add, Mitch, before we throw it to the half game show?
Just that I enjoyed this thoroughly. I'm glad everybody was able to join us. We look forward to bringing you an even better broadcast next time. And thank you to the NBL Canada for just coming back.
Absolutely. From Kobe K and Alejandro De Armero, I am Brett Hedges saying thank you for joining us on Knockstrom.tv. Stay tuned for the post-game show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince now. We'll see you soon, folks.
All right, gentlemen, I thank you very much. And what a ball game, folks. What a way to begin your 5th NBLC season. I mean, despite on the losing side, the Express gave us quite an entertainment, quite an exhibition, even though losing 98-97 against the Orangeville A's. Justin, man, we were off our seats for this one.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of energy, especially in the second half. To start off, I'll be honest with you, it seemed like the Express had a very, static offense and defense, but it seemed as soon as they came out of that locker room, they turned everything they had difficulties with around. And despite losing this game, everyone in this building was on their feet cheering. You could feel the energy from the seats up here and everything. This game was a fun one for sure.
The hustle picked up, the intensity, and obviously we had a couple of great plays right there, blocks on the Express defense end, and then we had a couple of alley-oops right there, fantastic, but there's a couple of people that we have to mention, and we would be remiss if we didn't. We talk about Adrian Moss. What hustle. I mean, he was down on the ground for a little bit, but he came back, played playmaker on the court, and a great exhibition by that fella nonetheless.
He definitely scored very well on offense. He gave a lot of hustle as well. Sorry for the mispronunciation there. Chris Commons there also had a very good game. Both of them led this Express team, both on offense and defense, very well.
And it's quite common to mention Chris Commons. I mean, this guy was a role player last year. It translated into this year. And, as defending champions, that's what you have to do the most. You have to pick up the intensity you had last year to put it in this year to show everybody that, we're the defending champions, and we're going to give you quite a game and quite a contest to do it. If not, then you'll end up short. But for the Express, even though they had a sloppy first half to begin with, they really picked it up in the second half, even though losing by a 3-point bucket to Orangeville. A 3-point bucket with 2 seconds to go. What's your thoughts going into the next home games, next games down the road?
Definitely, there was a lot of different things going on with this team. I'm going to say the Windsor Express, I didn't know what to expect coming in, to be honest. Like I said, there was a lot of transition with this team. And for the most part, I can see the Express doing very well this season. Even though there was a lot of turnover, as I said, with the roster, this team has the potential to make a finals run for sure. I won't guarantee that yet, but let me tell you, this team had lots of energy, showed their strides on if they play how they played in the second half for the rest of the season, they'll most likely do very well in the playoffs and in the rest of the regular season. But as well, there's a lot of different things, like I said. You have to have a lot of hustle with this team if you want to win. You want to have a lot of energy. You need to scramble for those loose balls and the rebounds. Most of the game, they struggled sometimes in fighting for those defensive and offensive rebounds. So if they can get those rebounds and show all that energy, then they can be successful for the rest of the season.
We talked about this at the halftime show, that they need to squeeze the ball offensively and defensively. And, of course, as you go down the road in the season, this may be game 1 of 40, but for every game, you got to learn how to squeeze the ball, and you got to go right from the get-go to control the game. As what Orangeville did, they took control of the game early with great defense, a great transition game. And I think if the Express followed that transition game, squeeze the ball out more and create that hustle, that'll just tell everybody, that's their game. So, JP, that's about it. Oh, incidentally, we have a update for you for one of the games that happened to finish at the end of the game. Niagara Lions and the London Lightning. The Lightning win their first game of the season, 122-109. Niagara first loss of the season, but they kept the game pretty close by cutting it by as much as 7. Logan Stutz is Niagara's player of the game, 29 points, 12 rebounds. Talk about a double-double. And for the Lightning, Warren Ward, 31 points. Unbelievable, eh, Prince?
Definitely, that is a very good offense, that's for sure. And as well, Windsor is taking on London next in their next matchup on the road.
Oh, that's right. That's right, Justin. On the 29th, they will travel to London to play their division rivals, London Lightning. And the next time you will see us is when the Express play against, how about this, the Niagara Lions. Niagara River Lions, thank you. It's going to be a long season to get that, but it's an expansion team and a great potential team. They will play the Niagara River Lions right here at home on January 2nd. Any final thoughts, Justin Prince?
The final thoughts for this game, of course, there was, like I said, lots happen in this game. This team, like I said, has potential to be very good this season. Of course, though, at the same time, this is only one game. You don't want to judge your entire season and your entire potential of its season with 1 or 2 games. Maybe down the line we can say, oh, maybe we're going to do great in the playoffs, maybe we're going to win a finals, but right now this is a bit too early to call that, to be honest. But let me tell you, depending on how the Express play, this could be a very interesting season and a fun season to watch if you're a Windsor Express fan.
Well, you're absolutely right about that, and I remember when Magic Johnson went into the NBA, the 79-80 season, there was a game-winning skyhook by no other than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you could remember Magic Johnson squeezing and hugging Kareem after that game winner, squeezing him. He was like, yeah, Kareem, you did it. And then Kareem or Norm Nixon of the San Diego Clippers said, relax, we got 81 more games to go. And I guess that's how we feel in the opener of this NBLC season for the Windsor Express. And that'll do it for us right here. Once again, the final score, Windsor Express 97, Orangeville A's 98. A tough way to begin the season, but remember, it's only game 1 of 40. That will do it for us. Next time you'll see us, January 2nd, against the Niagara River Lions right here at the old WFCU Center. So I would like to remind you that you've been watching Knockstrom Digital Media, providing the media excellence in Windsor, Essex County. For Justin Prince, this will be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.